money, power flipping.
Fellas, let's talk facts. Your belt game can make or break your look. You can have the cleanest fit, but if your belt is cracked, stretched, or sagging, you just killed the vibe. And believe me, women notice. First impressions matter. That's why I'm excited to partner with Anson Belt Buckle. They completely reimagine how belts should work. No more holes. Anson uses a micro-adjustable track system that gives you the perfect fit every single time. Once you try it, you'll never go back to a regular belt. And here's what sets it apart. One box gives you 3 buckles and 3 straps. That's 9 different combos. More versatility, less clutter. You'll look sharp in every situation. Anson is family owned, backed by a lifetime guarantee. And because they're sponsoring this video, you'll get a free bonus buckle and a strap when you click the link below or scan the QR code. Don't wait. Upgrade your belt game today.
Details of a tense face-off between protesters and federal agents this morning in the Brighton Park neighborhood. That's on Chicago's southwest side. When it was over, one woman was shot, 2 others arrested. Our Marissa Sulik was on the ground after dozens of protesters reportedly boxed in federal agents.
Today, chaos broke out near Kedzie and 40th Street in Brighton Park. It's the same area Homeland Security says agents were boxed in by 10 cars this morning. When agents got out, DHS says they saw one of the drivers that cornered them had a gun. They say the agents shot at her in self-defense.
The female called said she been shot in the arm and legs, and the ICE agent shot her.
Homeland Security says she is a U.S. citizen who wrote threatening messages on social media toward agents. They say she went to the hospital, was released, and no agents were hurt.
The caller was instigating a fight with the agents. Caller told 911 that ICE was shooting live rounds at moving traffic.
Once protesters got to the area, Alderwoman Julia Ramirez says she saw another man taken by federal agents at this gas station nearby.
Since then, there was one car that was at this gas station with a person, a U.S. citizen, who has now been detained.
All morning and into the afternoon, there were tense moments between agents and protesters. There was yelling, objects thrown, and officers spraying pepper balls. Groups of federal agents kept arriving on scene. Within 20 minutes when we got to the scene here, we saw about 4 to 5 undercover federal agent SUVs make their way through the crowd here and go underneath the tape. And each time we saw this, we saw protesters fight back.
They seemingly are like doing it every 5 minutes to continue the irritation on people. It's almost like they want people to be provoked.
At one point, a military vehicle pulled up near the protesters and an agent drew his gun from the roof, pointing it at protesters below.
It looked like they were like in the military now. You know, it's like a war zone here.
Chicago police say they were on scene to document, maintain safety, and control traffic. They were not involved in the incident or the federal investigation. In Brighton Park, Marissa Sulik, CBS News, Chicago.
Marissa, thanks. Homeland Security says Chicago police left the scene and refused to help secure the area after that shooting.
All right, let's go ahead and get into it, man. I'm pretty sure this may be a sensitive topic for some folks, but a much necessary conversation that needs to be had, just so we can kind of get some perspectives. Chicago is one of the cities. I know ICE has been reported to be in multiple cities, but we're just going to talk about Chicago only because it just seems to be trending. But again, we can bleed it off into what's going on around the world. I am curious to get you guys' thoughts. I've seen people on the fence about it. If I've looked through the comments, and some of the comments say that this is what we voted for. Good job, good way to clean up the streets. I know Chicago is one of the cities where they was dumping off immigrants. So some people have been attacking it from that angle, as far as they were brought here during the Biden administration. And now, since Trump has been elected into office, he's come up to clean up the mess. We also got multiple reports as far as them targeting blacks as well. So it's a lot of news surrounding this. I just want to open it up by getting you guys personal thoughts about what's going on in Chicago and across the world. I'll go ahead and open it up to you, Cautious.
You say what?
I'm going to open it up to you. What are your thoughts about what's been going on?
Oh man, you're gonna hear me first. Well, You know, um, I do believe we living in the fall of America. And if you read Elijah Muhammad's book, The Fall of America, he spoke on this type of situation that we will be dealing with. But I've heard different angles as to why the National Guard is actually being put into the cities. On one note, I heard that they may not. Well, we talking about ICE because I think the ICE and the National Guard is like two different groups of people, right? So I don't know if ICE and the National Guard is working together because you got ICE, you got the police, and then you have the National Guard. And from my understanding from ICE is when I read the book Behold the Pale Horse, they said that they was going to deputize certain citizens and use them to go after the Mexicans. And then after they go after the Mexicans, they was going to come after the blacks. But they was going to first go after the Mexicans and use the Mexicans to help them to weaken the community of the blacks. And once they did that, once they got that accomplished, they was going to disarm the Mexicans and then round up the Mexicans and go after them too. I don't know if that's already happened or if it's happening. You know, when it comes to this ICE situation, man, I'm still learning a lot. I really don't have uh, as much information as I would need to really speak on it. But I do believe that they are expecting a lot of chaos in the streets. And it's almost like they're practicing or getting ready for when things really do collapse and it get bad. Because right now we can still go to McDonald's, we can still go to the grocery stores, we can still do a lot of things like that. And it's chaos. So can you imagine how chaotic it will be in the situation that we'll be facing when we can't go to the grocery stores and we can't move around like we want to as the economy gets worse and worse. So I think this situation is just going to amplify and it's going to keep turning up until um, it's complete chaos in the streets, if you ask me.
I appreciate that perspective. Go to you, Brother Hink. What are your thoughts about what's been going on so far with this whole ICE situation?
So, as far as this, there's no financial benefit to the Mexicans. They don't see no financial benefits to them, so that's why they're willing to do that. Now, I know my man Kashi said they're gonna come after us next. No, there's too much financial benefit from us. They more than likely they won't do us like. Now, will they take a few of the bad apples? I hope they do. I ain't gonna lie, man. If you are not law abiding and doing what you need to do, and you out here just doing dumb shit, bye.
Yeah.
Take them away. For that woman who's a protester, and I don't know if it's true or not. This is hearsay, right? But if it is true, and she's out here sending threatening messages to the ICE agent, that makes no sense. Why would you do that? It only takes one of them agents who feel like they need to take you out, and they're gonna kind of somehow justify taking your ass out by showing the tweets or the messages or the social media posts that you sent out. We've seen people get set up before. Fred Hampton, same city, was killed, and they tried to sit there and say that man had weapons and all that to give him a reason to run in and delete them folks. Don't give him a reason. Now, Fred Hampton never did some shit like what she's doing and threatened no ICE agent. He never did that. He tried to unify us, and that's why they felt they were scared of him. That's why they called him the Black Messiah, because they knew what type of shit he was on. She's not, that woman probably wasn't knowing that type of time. She just wanted to stir some shit up to get some shit started so she get one of her goons to go steal her Chanel purse, and so they can go ride and tear the fucking city up. That's probably what it really was. But I might be speculating. I'm gonna leave that part alone. They don't see the value. I'm gonna say, go back again. They don't see the value in the Mexicans. Why? Because Mexicans, they spend their own money in their own community. They come together and do their own thing. They love us because they know we're not going to spend no money in our own community. We're going to spend in their community and everybody else's community but our own. So financially, we're valued in them. We know we produce more money in their communities and spending more money than any other race out there. Money we know we ain't got. Poor in the motherfucker. But we'll find a way to get some money to go buy some cigarettes, to buy some goddamn liquor, and to get the newest Jordans that come through. Shout out to your shoes in the background. I'm gonna leave it there.
All right, go ahead, Willie. What are your thoughts, sir?
You shoot at ICE, they should have shot and killed her. I don't feel bad for any law enforcement agency returning fire on someone who opened fire on them or poses a threat. It's common sense. You fuck around, you're gonna find out. I wish that she would have found out, but she didn't. Aside from that, as far as illegals being here, I don't feel bad about them trying to put them back. The problem that I have is that trying to just putting somebody on a plane and sending them back to a country they don't want to be in for criminal reasons, like sending people back to Cuba because they think if they go back they're going to die. I have an issue with that. But if it was an American in another country illegally, like if there was another country that was worth us trying to immigrate to illegally, they wouldn't keep us over there either. So I don't necessarily have any issue with what we're doing. I mean, there's a certain Republican Party that is trying to give that is trying to give health benefits, government sponsored, to illegal immigrants. So I have an issue with that. Like and Hank said, that they don't I don't believe that they're going to do this, go against Mexicans to get black people afterwards, because blacks and Mexicans aren't even in lock and step. Like black men like Mexican women, sure. Black people like Mexican food, cool. Mexicans like black culture, all right. Mexican people like, the black experience, or the black look, but that's about it. It's all cosmetic. So I don't think anybody that's informed would think that any of this shit is going to go hand in hand. If they want to go get black people, they got to keep on after black men, not Mexicans.
How do you guys feel about, real quick, Willie, about the people that they are making ICE agents? Because there's this rumor going around that they just getting basically anybody, and they're out here.
If it's true, if they're letting people go to ICE boot camp to become legit ICE agents, that's one thing. But just going out here and deputizing niggas off the street just because they say, "Oh no, I'm not racist. Oh no, I don't hate Mexicans," and then you give them an ICE badge and a gun, that's a terrible idea.
Jay, I've been seeing commercials where they advertisement, if you want to become an ICE agent, we need more agents to get, gangsters, robbers, and these off the street. I mean, I've been seeing a commercial. So now, like you said, just deputizing anybody and not actually really training them, sending them through some type of real training. Like, truth be told, they ought to be in a year-long training, not no 6 months, 3 months, or a week-long training. That's crazy.
Military training ain't even that long.
I understand, Willie, but we need a little bit more training because, like you said, there's psych valves on some of these motherfuckers they're going to try to bring in. They shouldn't be passing, but we know they allow that shit to slide through. Yeah, it should be about a year for sure. Because I don't just think you need to bring anybody, because if you got that bigot racist mentality and you just out there trying to sweep up everybody that you've seen that's Mexican and assuming that they legally there, and that's not to be the case. There are some people who are legally here. So, we got to respect them people. But for those who ain't, yeah, they got to get up through. But you got some cats who just going to go through just to be going through because their mindset is wrong. They got, they got a hateful mindset, and they just look to get back because one of these Mexican brothers done took their little white girl from them. You know how it go, though.
All right, I'm just going to run this little short clip, and then I get to Naomi.
Understand? They just tear gas you. They don't give a fuck about you either. Why you protecting them?
Come on, man.
Tomorrow it's you.
Come on, man. Y'all, that was fucked up. Y'all know that was fucked up. Y'all know that was fucked up.
Garcia. Trail. Wake up! Wake up! You're gonna wake up. We're gonna go this way, and then we'll wake up. Wake up. Wake up.
Y'all don't get, none of us get paid enough for this.
Hey, it's time to get up.
Job
Get up
and
now.
arrest ICE.
Wake up.
They shot a Chicagoan
Wake
today.
up.
Arrest ICE.
Wake up. Wake up.
I'm gonna go ahead and get to Naomi. Naomi, what are your thoughts about this, ma'am, as far as what's been going on?
So, I'm gonna be honest with you. I personally don't like it. Only because of the way that it's affected. Everything's affected me in my family. So I'm Mexican and Puerto Rican, and when I get nervous, I have a strong accent, and I start speaking in Spanish. And one of the things that I don't think we really noticing is that there's a lot of hate within the Hispanic community that's happening right now for people who are already police officers. It's like if we hating our own people, so we getting targeted, and then we also being targeted by actual ICE agents. And it's very difficult to you think that if you walk around with your driver's license that it's okay, you'll be able to have that conversation and say, okay, well, I'm legal, but it's not happening like that. I've personally been picked up already, and it scares my kids because we know what happens whenever they separate the parents from the children. And it's not it's not the way that everybody's making it out to seem. It's scary, but I think it's more. I'm starting to realize in Chicago they actually have warrants for the people that they're picking up. Social media is making it, and the news is making it seem like they're just picking up random people, and they're not doing that. So I think if you take a look at what's actually happening and then what's the truth behind it, it's for a good cause, because the fact of the matter is that if you cross the border, then you broke a federal law to be here. And if you didn't take proper protocol to stay here, then it's an issue. And a lot of people they don't like that, but it's the truth. I'll land there.
All right. Well, Luis, welcome to the panel, brother. What you got on this ICE conversation so far?
What's going on, y'all? Happy Sunday. I just chimed in, so I haven't really fully dived in where we are in the conversation, so I want to listen a little bit more before I kind of participate.
Okay.
Luis, I need to know where your ass been. You been in a goddamn bunker or something?
Oh, man, I have been crazy busy. Life has been lifing, man.
All right.
I
hope you wasn't worrying about them agents.
I went into hiding.
I know that's right, dog. I know that's right.
All right, I'm gonna run a little bit of this clip right here I came across as well. So in Chicago, they raided a building, Naomi. You heard about that story, right? And I wasn't sure if they just had warrants, but they was putting everybody in zip ties and even children. So I came across this.
You to explain it to me like I'm 10. I want you to really break this down to me like I'm 10 years old and tell me why ICE agents zip tying black babies in Chicago, because I can't for the life of me understand why this happened. Why was this necessary? These are black babies, American citizens living in Chicago, but ICE agents are zip tying them because they pose a threat to who? They are a danger to what? I need you to explain this to me like I'm 10. Not only why did this happen, why is there not collective outrage behind it? Why is this not on the news? Why is this not being covered? Why is this not being talked about by almost anybody but a handful of black people in this country?
So how you guys feeling about that? I mean, is it taking it too far? It's extreme? You think it's part of the process for them to try to figure out who's who?
I need to know more or see more. I would say that some black babies do look Mexican. All of mine did. So
God damn, Willie.
What?
Man, you
I
on
think
the
to
dark side today,
understand.
baby. He said his baby
No, I'm
look
just saying, like
Mexicans.
all my kids came out like light skinned with straight hair. Like it was so light skinned when they took me to the room. They was like, "Hey, your baby's right there on the right." I was like, "No, because there's 4 girls and a little white baby in there, and I had a son. So where's my son?" And it was like, "He's in the first one to the right." So I go back in there, still see the same little white baby, and I'm like, "No, that baby's not mine, because that baby is white. Otherwise, I'm about to tear this hospital up." So I'm going back to the room with that on my mind. And the lady's like, "You see your baby?" I said, "No." She walked me in there and she gave me a white baby. I was like, "Oh, this is mine." And she was like, "Yeah, he'll get darker. Trust me. Look at his ears." I was like, "Oh shit. Okay. He's mine. Y'all seen him." So
God damn, dog. He's about to reject your boy.
swear to God. No, I wouldn't. I was gonna think. So this lady had me at the hospital for 3 days so she could have another person baby, a white dude baby. Yeah.
I think to understand what's going on, we got to put it in a historical context, a political context, a racial context, and you have to have information, all this type of information to really understand what you're looking at today. It's not just, this is some serious stuff going on. As far as that child being detained and arrested like that, I don't think no child should be treated like that. I don't think that's justifiable unless it's a child, maybe 9 or something with a gun or something like that. Or that I can understand maybe in that context, but I don't think no child should be treated like that, as if they are really such a threat to anybody at 3, 4, 5 years old or whatever. I don't really think that's justified at all. I think it's a lot of gaslighting going on in this society.
That I could agree with, very much so. Look, at the end of the day, whether the child is, was born in the country or brought here, or whatever the case may be, I don't think that no child, especially at that age, poses a threat to anybody, especially to a grown man or grown woman who's armed to the teeth. That's just not really. At this point, it's for optics, right? It's more of a like, yeah, we'll arrest you and your children. Like, we don't give a fuck. Like, they're like really throwing, the whole baby out with the bathwater with everything. And sort of, I think it's more disrespectful, and I think it's very harmful rhetoric, because regardless, and we've seen children, who are American, in these neighborhoods who are 10, 12, get arrested, sometimes just because they were throwing ice cream at a car, right? And they put in handcuffs. I think there's a level of how severe do you take it? And then also, when you're making these arrests and there are children involved, there should be a social service individual in that sort of space to ensure that if they have to remove a child or make sure that there's safety involved, like that, we're not putting kids in handcuffs and throwing them in the back of a paddy wagon. Like, I just think that's just extreme, at least at this level.
You also got to understand, with the media, what they're doing is they're trying to desensitize the public. They want you to get used to seeing certain acts like that. And what they're going to do? They've already demoralized the American people to such an extent. Now they want to desensitize us even more than we already are. So when they put stuff like that in the news media and there's no backlash, nobody does nothing about it, they want you to get used to seeing children, old people, any and everybody being treated like that. And hopefully, in their mind, they want you to accept this type of behavior.
But unfortunately, I think we already passed that.
Yeah.
I once we start seeing these mass shootings of schools, and we started seeing that, it's over for us. We don't feel shit no more. Look, another school should go on. Okay, we'll shrug our shoulders and keep it moving like nothing never happened. That's how insensitive we are to this shit, because it happens way too much. So we used to seeing old people That shit happened in the 60s, getting locked up. That's nothing new for us. You know, and so now we seeing this image of this child. It's man, that's sad. It's extreme, and I hate to see that because I think like Lou said, some type of child protective service need to be called. Maybe even before you take the parents away, allow the child protective service come get them kids first, then take the parents away. So that, you know, that kid won't be. He's already going to be traumatized. That child's going to be already traumatized, but at least they have some sense of stability that they didn't see their parents go off like that. You know what I'm saying? But that, of course, we know that's not going to happen. They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. They may beat the parents and rough them up right there in front of the kids. So I'm not surprised by this going down. I hate to hear it. But like I think Willie said, was that I would like to see some more information on it, because I know sometimes people set information because we emotional as a people, as Black people, we already emotional about a little bit of everything and anything. And so they will say and put stuff out there just to drive up emotions, right? Just like that, I think that protester was out there put on social media, these ICE agents are shooting live rounds at people in the city of Chicago, right? And that wasn't even the case. But people will put that information up just to drive people's emotions up to make them feel a certain type of way. Now, when I seen that ICE, those look like paint guns. I know what those paint guns look like, and that's what they look like, paintball guns. You know, this fall, I'm going to go paintballing with my buddies from work. We always do it every year about this time, between the month of October all the way up to December. We go paintball. So that's what they look like. They didn't look like pistols, unless they got some new pistols out there I don't know about, and I need to get hit to them. But yeah, those look like paintballs. So I don't know, man. This is a crazy situation. But, you know.
Plus you got to understand, if the news media is out there live, a lot of times, sometimes that could be like a staged event where they are just trying to, like you say, they're trying to get a reaction from the public. Right now you got a lot of staged events going on, and you also have real events going on. I don't know if y'all paying attention, but if you look at this AI, man, sometimes they got like these AI videos. I'm seeing one of Tupac a lot now all of a sudden. And it actually looks like real people and real footage. So we can be very deceived these days with a lot of activity that's going on, whether it's a shooting or a stabbing, and they can show like the live footage, and it's always kind of blurry. You know what I mean? Like, you really have to have discernment these days. And that's why I say you have to be studied up. You have to, you know, some of us have really been reading and studying for years about what's really going on and what's about to happen. Then you have some people who are just reacting to social media and what they seeing. So that's my thing, man. It's a lot of deception going on, and it's a lot of real wicked stuff going on at the same time.
And that's why I think what Willie was saying, me myself, I would like to see some more information out there. I don't want to just see one aspect, one video here and there, and saying, well, this is what's going on, and somebody re-reporting his same video, using him as a reference. But now you got multiple people sharing fake information. You know, I would like to see it from a credible source, you know, at least taking the ball and running with some, at least some credible information. Like you said, AI can go out there and create a whole storyline and it not be true, and they're selling it to people, whether it's
like
positive
that
or
stabbing on
negative.
that train. They're stabbing on the train. Did anybody see that?
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about,
the
yeah.
subway. Yeah.
Well, but there were two though. I mean, there were two incidents. There was the stabbing of the young
white girl,
late Ukrainian woman, right? And then also there was the incident of where there was another black woman who was also killed on the train as well. I don't know whether he stabbed her or whether he strangled her, but both happened on the train. So it's been a common occurrence on that specific train. But again, the optics of what is being shown to you, right? The graphic and the description, it's very telling, because two people lost their lives. No matter whatever the method was, 2 women lost their lives on a similar train by 2 people who were, you know, fucking mentally unstable, right? But they're gonna show you the one that's going to enrage a certain population and a certain audience to kind of trigger you and think like this is the problem. But in reality is there are other instances that are happening in similar proximities, but they don't show that, or they don't get the airtime that they need.
Oh yeah,
They already have
Lou,
the
I think we.
laws that they want to implement. They just need the actions to justify bringing in them laws.
Well, I think we all know get one of them beautiful white snow bunnies to be suffering or children. That's automatic going to draw some type of feelings or emotions. We know that. That's a given.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play a little bit of this clip from CNN regarding what's been going on in Chicago as well. Let me know if you guys can't hear it so I can restart it. But here we go.
American cities to be
You guys hear it?
Yeah.
Okay.
training grounds, and ICE listened. In Chicago, in the middle of the night, federal agents stormed an apartment building. Black Hawk helicopters, flashbangs, military-style trucks, all used in the raid. Now, witnesses say everyone was detained, no matter their status. Children were zip-tied together, separated from their parents. And the feds say that they arrested dozens of gang members. Also in the city, Charlie Kirk's group was given a front row seat to a raid inside a Walmart.
Amazing. Secretary Noem was here. They rolled up a couple of guys, and it's rowdy. There's a lot of people around. Everyone's filming. The Secretary of Homeland Security is right now doing raids at Walmart.
So as forewarned, I mean, we have a situation in which American cities are at the center of this ICE crackdown, and there's indiscriminate use of force against Americans, non-Americans, people here legally, people here illegally. And on the right, nobody seems to care. In fact, they love it.
I saw a video from a local station in Chicago, and residents of a community there were describing an ICE raid and like what they saw. 2 things struck me. One, they were talking about things that happened to them. They were talking about how they were treated in this ICE raid. These are the people that, I guess, by virtue of being born here in America, are entitled to being treated like human beings. The second thing is that they were all Black. And I'm going to say something. We saw this coming. We knew the neighborhoods where these ICE raids would take place. We knew that a lot of these things wouldn't happen in Beverly Hills or in Coconut Grove or any of those places like that. We knew that there would be collateral damage, that there would be trauma that would be inflicted on our communities. We knew that people would be detained, scared. We knew that children would have to see things that they shouldn't have to see. And all of this for political theater so that we look tough on immigration for everyone. It's a horror show. And I do think if it hasn't already happened, that it'll be something that even the most conservative of Americans will get tired of seeing human beings treated this way. At least that's my hope.
The one neighbor said the kids were crying. They looked very distraught. I was out there crying when I seen the little girl come around the corner because they were bringing kids down too, had them zip tied to each other, saying that there were trucks, military-style vans used to separate adults from kids. What's going on?
I haven't seen any of this, so I certainly am not aware of particular neighborhoods that are targeted. Obviously, I support them finding and arresting people who are here illegally. And in the community they're in, again, I can't justify, I haven't seen which communities that they're targeting.
Well, one detail that's been left out is that they were targeting Tren de Aragua. And so Tren de Aragua is a violent transnational gang. They send illegal immigrants here to the United States. They traffic drugs, they traffic people, they commit violence. They inflict.
I'm gonna stop it right there. Get you guys' thoughts about what you heard. You gave a little bit more context as far as that building raid as well. It kind of seemed like to me, I'll go ahead and kick it off. It seemed like to me just in that little short discussion that the people that wasn't black didn't notice any of these conversations that's taking place. But the people that who it seemed like it may have affected their people, they were hip to what was going on. So it kind of shows you, even though it's in the media, people kind of pick and choose what it is that they care about or relate to.
Yeah, I mean that's not a surprise though. I mean everybody does that. Like I could care less about what's going on in South America, most of Africa, and Japan because it doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect my people. There's nothing wrong with that. That's normal. But what I like about that, even though I hate everything about CNN and the host, she's always getting embarrassed by somebody, is that when Buddy came and gave the context, okay, they're targeting a gang that's in that building. So that explains the military tactics. That also explains why the people were zip tied together. When you have to go separate civilians and you have to find criminals in a group of civilians, you have to do that. It's like a medical agency would have to triage wounded people at a mass casualty. So you have to separate people. Unfortunately, everybody's getting zip tied or handcuffed or detained while you're being separated. There's a movie called The Inside Man. And if you look at it, the bank robbers blended in with the people who were being robbed. They all had on the same clothes and they came outside and they detained everybody. Even innocent folks were getting shot with the little beanbag guns and all that other shit. Using military style trucks, that's just incendiary inflammatory language. They use cars to separate people. That's what you have to do. You have to put people in different vehicles. All right, these niggas are going to jail. These little niggas is going to CPS. Like that's what's supposed to happen. So like the way that they even report on these types of things is very, very, very Democrat. Like, and being a guy that's in the middle, like not on the left, not on the right. That's one of the things I hate about Democrats is they always try to use these words that make things seem worse and use these incendiary or extreme examples to try to prove their points.
What's going on, Ish? I'm not sure if you've been following the conversation, but I'm sure you can gather what we're discussing. But what are your thoughts about the ICE in Chicago? What's been going on around the world?
I followed a little bit. I thought I'd hop on for a second. I mean, even the whole conversation about us being desensitized. I mean, have we not forgot about Emmett Till? Like, I feel like they don't realize that these things have been happening. Like, people are illegally detained every day, literally every day. I just saw someone, my cousin was illegally detained 3 weeks ago. Kept him overnight. He wasn't even in the system, had nothing to do with him. These things happen consistently to Black Americans. And though we've been saying that it happens, nobody seems to understand why we're not jumping on board at all the craziness. I think I agree with the panel when they say, like, I mean, I'm military. So, like, everybody has to be detained. We can't tell who from who. In Iraq, you couldn't even take candy from kids because they could possibly be about to blow you up. We don't know who is who. We're just detaining people. And I don't even know if that video was real. It looks like AI to me. Like, that was my first time seeing it. And I don't know how far these people will go. So I just think they're going overboard and they're trying to, it's coming across disingenuous because these are the same people who place them in our communities. Like back in 2018 and 2019, when we were like, no, don't do it. And they're like, yeah, we're going to do that. And they did it. And then the same people that are screaming, because it's funny because you guys live in Chicago. The white people up north were like, nah, they can't come here. The people in Little Italy and Pilsen, all the Hispanics were like, nah, they can't come to our neighborhoods. But coincidentally, those are the people that are fighting against ICE for them to stay in our neighborhoods. So it's giving disingenuous. It's giving agenda. It's giving propaganda. And so we're just not falling for that anymore.
Am I tripping? I was not too long ago, they were talking about mass immigration and how they were trying to immigrate and bring people into certain communities. Is that what you're talking about happened in Chicago, sis? Where they were bringing people to certain parts of the country and certain people didn't want them. So how on one level you going to be talking about bringing people in and a few years later you're talking about deporting people? Am I the only one that's seeing this or am I tripping?
I feel like it's for money. I feel like Chicago and other sanctuary cities got money. Chicago specifically was getting over $700,000 a day to house illegal immigrants. And I think that they were like, yep, ship them out here because we want the money. The money done ran out. We really don't know where the money went. They closed down every school in the Chicago black neighborhood, and coincidentally, they had the money to open them up to house illegal immigrants. So can we get those schools open in our neighborhoods for our black children? That's all the questions I need to know. Where is that money? Where is that $700,000 a day? The money has dried up. They done funneled it into all kind of projects. They're stealing people's properties in South Shore. It's so much going on in Chicago that's corrupt. This is the least of our concerns.
Can we blame this on Tiffany Henyard? Is that who? Can we put it on her? I mean, I'm just saying.
We can't. We do need to start getting on these aldermen because they're definitely not doing their jobs in the community as well out here for the black communities. The aldermen aren't doing anything. I think we pay them like $200 and some thousand a year. They're not doing anything.
But I think.
Go ahead. I was just gonna say I haven't heard too much from the mayor on this situation. I went to his Instagram page, and I think he just kept it general. I mean, I know he was speaking a lot, and I've seen the salt trucks blocking, trying to prevent people from coming in. But since things has taken place, I could be wrong, and correct me if so. But I haven't heard too much from him. I don't know if it's just he doesn't have the power to do anything. But how do you guys? I know you're in Chicago. What's been said about that?
I haven't heard anything. The last time he said something was about Assata Shakur, but nothing about. I mean, what is he going to say? He was the one that said bring him on. Like he was the one that was getting the money for him. I don't think that he can really say much. I mean, he's never really been for us. I feel like they went down to the city hall and was like, get rid of Brandon Johnson. Like, really, the people ain't for him, but your algorithm might trick you into thinking so. But if you're actually in Chicago, nobody is really caping for the mayor.
They don't really have a lot of the people we look at who they put in certain positions that you think got power. They just pawns and spokespersons. To really understand what's going on today, you really have to get to the root of the problem. And one thing they didn't teach us is how to get to the root of the problem. They get close by saying little cliches like follow the money and stuff like that. And you can get to the root of the problem sometimes like that, but you really have to understand this is a race war that's going on. And if you really don't want to accept that or see that, you're going to probably just not understand why a lot of things are taking place, not just in this country, but around the world.
I'm gonna run a little bit more of this clip.
Misery everywhere they go. And 37 people were arrested. That was the purpose of the raid, the targeting of Tren de Aragua, some of the most violent people in our hemisphere. And when they come here, nothing good happens. That was
okay. So if it was targeting, I don't think anybody has a problem with targeting. Right. When you clear out an apartment building and you zip tie children and you arrest and detain everyone. Scott, hold on, Scott. You and me, we're talking here. Okay. If they arrest children, they arrest everyone, citizens and non-citizens, for hours, detain them, deprive them of their liberty for no matter how long. You are fine with that.
They didn't arrest children, but
I didn't say they arrested them. They put them in zip ties. But if that makes a difference to you, go ahead.
Here's what makes a difference to me. If the federal government knows that there is a nest of Tren de Aragua in a city like Chicago, they have a responsibility. They have an obligation to go get them. It is unfortunate, to answer your question, that there are children put in harm's way by these violent gangs. But that is going to be the reality.
Or is it unfortunate, or is it a violation of their rights, is the question. Because, I mean, in this country, we have rights against searches and illegal
you're suggesting
searches
these children should be effectively human shields for Tren de Aragua. And I don't agree.
What I'm asking, hold on, I want to make it clear. I know that Tren de Aragua and gangs and whatever, it's a catch-all to treat people however you want, to go in there and shred the Constitution or whatever else it is that you want to do. What I'm asking you is this. Do you think that children should have been zip-tied and pulled out of an apartment complex and traumatized like that? Yes or no?
I don't think children should be put in harm's way by transnational gangs.
Just answer the question. Yes or no? Do you think that children?
I don't accept the premise of your question.
I'm asking
the
you
government's not
whether or
putting
not
children in harm's way. Tren de Aragua.
Real calm now. Real calm. Like
They're the ones putting children in harm's way.
Gentlemen and gentlemen, we have a responsibility for the way we treat people with the power that we have here in America. And we have a standard that we should treat human life with. And I'm asking you very clearly, concisely, should children be treated like what? Does Scott Jennings like that?
I don't accept the premise of your question.
All right, cool.
I don't believe that the premise of your question is accurate. I would ask you back. Should children be allowed to live in an apartment building with Tren de Aragua? Should the entire community of Chicago have to live with Tren de Aragua because they hide behind these children?
But here's the thing.
That's my
I
question.
think the answer to that is clear. No, they should not be put in harm's way. But the difference is in this situation is I don't want to be Tren de Aragua. I don't want my law enforcement to act like Tren de Aragua. That is the distinction.
You don't want to leave it? Do you just want to leave it and say, well, they have kids in there, let's just move on?
No, but can't law enforcement figure out a way? I don't think this is the first time children have been in an environment where dangerous people have been around them. And I'm most certain that in most of those circumstances, those children aren't zip tied and carried out like animals.
I'm gonna go ahead and stop it there. Open it up for responses.
So the funny thing is about it, when people say, shout out to the military, let me say that first. But when people sit there and say certain things ain't humane, they don't really want to know what goes on everywhere when you have military forces coming through. They don't want to know how the hot dog's made. You would hate to see how that hot dog made, but guess what? You be willing to throw it on your grill, throw it in your oven, throw it in a boiling hot water, and cook it and eat it. But if you see how they make, you might not want to eat that no more. If you see how certain things have to go down in order for it to go down, you may not want to see it. You may not want to witness it or be involved in it. But certain things, certain sacrifices has to be made. And if that means the kids get detained, however they get detained, sometimes it's got to happen. And nobody's going to sit there and say they're going to be locked up in some old boot camp where they're going to, torture them and do like that. No. But if that's how they're going to have to do to get them out of there or get them away from the situation, you might have to do it.
Why are we talking about the military when ICE is doing this? The Marines, Army, Air Force, Navy, they're not in these cities snatching people up. This is ICE. It's not even a military issue. But again,
they look at it. They look at it like it is, though.
Well, they say because it helps them support their point. Because anytime you put the visual of the military acting, on United States soil, it's a problem. But this is the thing, right? You know who gets, so who has civil rights, Bill of Rights, and articles, saying rights given to them by the Constitution? American citizens. So that means if illegal people don't. Why are we trying to give them to them? If you're not here illegally, we don't have anything to do. So you have no access to. We don't owe you that. Like an illegal immigrant doesn't have the right to bear arms. He doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not protected against illegal search and seizure. You're an illegal immigrant because like the constitutional rights are not human rights. And that side who is against this ICE stuff tries to conflate those two things as if they're the same.
They cause the problem and then they come in with a fake solution to fulfill their agendas. It's pretty much a gaslighting tactic. So even when I hear them talk about like gangs and going after the gangs and the criminals and stuff, in reality, they produce that in their society. Because if you wanted to have a society with very low crime and people with who have healthy mental mindsets, you can produce that in your society. It's not hard. All you have to do is keep positive images in the media, have a real education where you really teach the people and enforce certain laws and rules. But before the laws and rules, it's all about how you train your society to think and behave. Of course, there's going to be some people but as a whole, the society should not be this corrupt and full of gangs and violence and guns everywhere and drugs. It's the people who claim to be helping the society are the ones that's bringing the guns and the drugs and all this in. So I mean, it disgusts me, bro, because I'm seeing this on a different level, man. I don't like the like I said, I keep using that word gaslight because that's really what it is. You know what I mean? So if you producing the problem and then you sitting up on news medias talking as if you really want to fix the problem, and then like the black brother, when he asked him a simple question, he couldn't even answer it, and then he just refused to answer. You're really wasting time. You're talking to an unreasonable, you're trying to be reasonable with an unreasonable person. And they think that's funny and cute when they do that to us because we be real emotional and serious, and we really be talking to these people, really trying to get an understanding. And they really just doing it for, they really just playing with us, man. They know what they doing. They know what they plan on doing. It's us who are wasting time believing that we can negotiate with certain people with a certain type of mindset.
What makes the other side not rational? The fact that they don't agree with what you believe in? Because a lot of times that's what it seems like we're saying. What have they done that would make an unbiased person view them or deem them or label them as irrational?
Well, first you just got to know their whole history, and you got to know their agenda.
So of the people that we've seen discuss this issue, right? Everybody was on CNN panel. I'm not understanding. I'm pretty familiar with everybody on the panel. So what about whose history makes them irrational to you?
What do you mean whose history makes them irrational to me?
Well, I'm just using what you said.
What are we doing when we talk about Caucasian history?
No, we're talking about the people who are discussing this. That's who we can respond to because that's the only agenda that we even have been exposed to in the clips. Everything else is speculation and conjecture, or you're saying stuff that we've heard, second, third, or fourth hand. But as far as what we heard firsthand today,
I was talking about the brother who was talking to the I don't know the white dude's name, but you can see he really wasn't concerned about when they was discussing the child being put in handcuffs or whatever. You can see he really wasn't even trying to discuss that because he really didn't care.
No, it's not that he didn't care. He said exactly why he was acting the way he was, but he didn't accept the premise of the question. So that doesn't mean that he's irrational. It means he doesn't accept the premise of the question that's being asked.
Okay.
So we can't
that means that the question. He knew that the question was a setup question. That was a disingenuous question, and that's what he was getting at, which it was. But sometimes Black people can not understand that. So he was literally asking him the question, like, "Do you think this is right?" And in return to that question, the white guy's like, "Do you think it's right for the gang members to be in here with these kids walking around with AK-47s?" So it's kind of like it balances itself out, but it's like y'all try to act like y'all don't see that. Like this is a building full of kids that's walking around with gang members, drug infested, all of that. And y'all are worried about them being zip tied for 2 hours. That's the premise of this conversation.
Yeah, but
I agree.
But Aisha,
it should not be happening. There is no way. If they are U.S. citizens, like I said before, if their civil rights were violated, and since all these Black outlets want to get on here, then hire a civil rights attorney. Ben Crump, where you at? And help these Black people out whose quote unquote civil rights have been violated. Because we do have rights in this country as Black American citizens. So if y'all feel like it's such a big deal that these people's rights were in fact truly violated, then how about instead of getting on CNN and arguing with this white man back and forth, that you actually get on up to Chicago and get in that building and help these Black people find somewhere to stay and sue the United States government, because that would be the action that needed to be taken instead of trying to fearmonger us into voting for you guys in this preliminary election.
I don't think we'll have another Democratic president for the next 2 terms. It's I don't try to think how to word this without sounding like a dickhead, but like they fucked themselves when they put Kamala Harris up there and everything that they did, because now the left is saying that it's okay to cut kids' dicks and shit off. They're saying if they feel like it, if you don't do it, they'll take your kids from you. You can go to jail. So once they put that, is what they what do they say? They hitched their wagon to that. It was over for them because nobody is going to vote for that except for those weirdos who want to do it.
And that is true because they sound real hypocritical. you wanna change your son into a little girl, but you have a problem with this child being detained because you don't know what's going to become of this child or what you're going to do. I mean, damn, you said 2 terms. That's a long time. But goddamn, well.
Go ahead, Luis. I know you're trying to say something.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, those children, regardless of the situation, they didn't choose to be there. You know what I'm saying? They didn't choose to be brought into the world, and they certainly didn't choose to be in that kind of scenario. And it's unfortunate for them to have to go to experience that. And it's obviously the perpetrators, the parents or the guardians who, are overseeing those children and putting them essentially in harm's way. I think I think the argument that most people are trying to get at least the panel on that video that we were looking at, is like, what is the more acceptable approach to kind of handle this situation, right? Because the way that they do one thing is the way that they do everything, right? So if this is now the new standard of how you address this situation, and you put children in this sort of scenario where you handcuff them or whatever, well, that can also apply to citizens. And yeah, they have rights and all that, but that doesn't stop these people from doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we understand that we all have rights, right? But that doesn't stop the people in power or the people who are part of the law enforcement to enact in a certain way or not uphold themselves to a certain standard, right? That doesn't stop them. That has never stopped them, right? To the point that Aisha gave earlier about her cousin being detained, still doesn't stop them. So I think we're trying to get to what is really the acceptable approach when it comes to these types of scenarios, regardless of whoever, because I will argue that there are American people here who are citizens who are just as bad and that's as worse, doing just as nefarious acts, right? But I wouldn't expect their children in that same sort of scenario to undergo the same kind of treatment, right? So I think it's more about finding a little bit of a silver lining.
All right, I'm put a little bit more of this clip. It's almost done.
What I'm wondering is, okay, let's put this fact pattern on any other placement. Let's put it on a school, right? What if there was a gang member in a school? And by this calculation, it would seem like the children in the school, in order to get that one gang member or 2 gang members, would get.
It's not one gang member. It's 37
well,
people in an apartment
let's say there's
building.
5.
It's a large apartment building. That's part of the fact pattern here. I mean, here's another one from our reporting. Tenants said it appears everyone in the building was detained by federal officers, including U.S. citizens. It was scary, said one, because I had never had a gun in my face. That person lives in the building. They asked my name and my date of birth and asked me, did I have any warrants? I told them, no, I didn't. Fisher, this person says, she was handcuffed anyway before being released around 3 a.m. and was told anyone with outstanding warrants, even if it was unrelated to immigration, would not be released. So people live in apartment buildings all over this country.
I promise that.
Is that where you should go? Should I just go to an apartment building and hide?
Wait. I'm talking about the way that citizen of this country was treated. By the way, I just want to be clear. I think that everybody that's created in the image of God should be treated with respect. And I thought that part of the American ideal was that, but that's gone. I promise y'all will still be invited to Mar-a-Lago if you say that it is wrong that children were zip tied and that American people, American citizens, were detained without any warrant or suspicion.
Briefly detained? In an effort to get 37 Trinidad members?
So tell me.
What you're suggesting is that no enforcement can take place.
Would you be okay being detained so that the gang members, would you be okay with your rights being violated and you be held until 3 a.m. with your family member not knowing why? Is that okay? Because that's not okay with me.
Everybody here seems to believe that if you're Trinidad Aragua, you can go hide in an apartment building, and because there are other people there, you just get to be left alone. That is not a reasonable enforcement position.
There's another option here, and it's actually an option that's utilized by law enforcement every single day in this country. When they are looking for violent people, they go look for those violent people. They do not subject the people around those violent people who have nothing to do with them with arrest, with guns in their faces, with being searched, with being zip tied and handcuffed and detained. Every day in America, law enforcement does their jobs and they don't do it like this. So why is suddenly this okay?
Every day in America, you're not necessarily dealing with the most violent people in the hemisphere.
Yes, we're not.
That's who is living in this.
Scott, there are violent people who are right here in this country, American citizens. They are in gangs. They were born here. Their parents were born here. Their grandparents were born here.
Believe me, we know.
Those people are dealt with by law enforcement every day. Again, it's a real basic question. If you lived in an apartment building and there happened to be somebody who was guilty of a terrible crime in that building, and law enforcement barged in, guns blazing, and put every single person in that apartment building under arrest, you would be fine with that, including you and your family.
Not everybody is under arrest. They arrested 37 people. They arrested 37. You said everybody. It's not. It's 37 people.
This person was sleeping in their bed and they were detained. They were put in handcuffs and detained.
Neither you nor I was there. Neither you nor I were there. But I know this. Now 37
you and your family,
violent people are now off the street.
Scott, you and your family, you are in an apartment building. You and your family, you would be fine with your liberty being held up, your kids, your wife, your children being detained for any amount of time because somebody in that building was a criminal. You'd be fine with that?
You are vastly oversimplifying what's happening here. There are scores of illegal immigrants in the building.
Sometimes we need to simplify things so that we actually understand what we're talking about. Because I do think that this is a problem now for the rest of the country. People are going about their lives and they are not responsible for the crimes of other people. And yet in this world in which ICE is operating like this, they are being detained for other people's crimes. Willingness to accept a whole lot of collateral violation of rights of anybody, whether you're American citizens or not, because there are many rights in this country that are in the Constitution that it doesn't matter if you're a citizen or not, you're still entitled to them.
Trump,
hey man, we some soft motherfuckers,
at least
man.
that is what the Chinese are saying. I mean, that post
Jesus
with the viral hashtag Trump chicken.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we some soft motherfuckers, man. We are. Look, I seen a video where these two women was crying about her 17-year-old brother, mad because he got shot and killed because he broke into a man's house. And they shot and killed his ass. She said that was too much force. They didn't have to do all that. That boy had a whole lot of life ahead of him. Yes. Your brother's in here breaking in motherfucker's house. What life he had ahead of him? You know what his life was? Prison or the graveyard. That was his life. So he went sooner than maybe he was supposed to. So be it. R.I.P. to his ass because he gone. But the reason why I'm saying this, because they went on the news, did a whole news thing for it, crying about her brother being killed because he broke into somebody's house and the owner didn't, the homeowner didn't have to do that shit. This is shit I'm talking about. Look, there's going to be situations going to happen and some innocent people may get detained. I understand. Now, if they feel like it's wrong, then they can file a civil lawsuit against the government and get Ben Crump. You know his black ass be loving to come down there to get some publicity and show his shiny ball ass head on TV to get more bread. We know that. So call him up, let him go to court for you, get you $1 million and go on back to your business. While we take these 37 motherfuckers that it was guilty, they did do something wrong, they did do something bad, and we got them off the street. That's a job well done. I'm sure they'd be willing to give you your $1 million to get rid of these 37 bastards that don't belong here and get them up through. Whatever it takes, man.
Two things, right? God's timing is always perfect. So that nigga got sent to him when he was supposed to.
God.
Two, anytime, say we were all in a building and then there was a bank robbers ran through the building and were hiding. SWAT comes and shows up and says, hey, we're here to get the bad guys. Sorry, niggas, y'all got to get detained too. We're all getting laid on the ground, detained, and just being told to be still while they go do what they're doing. And then they send an auxiliary force in to come get people. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. You got a small apartment building with 60 or 67 or 30, whatever, gang members in it. How are they supposed to be able to eyeball which one of these niggas it is? Like, I don't see an issue. I see nothing wrong with what they did. Like, every time somebody comes out, I could have just been the gang member who was walking out, just going on a store run. Just because I ain't got my machete and my AK on me don't mean I'm not one of the niggas they want. So they stop and detain me because the building that I'm coming from was their target. Like, I'm not seeing shit wrong with that.
I just think it's all orchestrated because it just so happened to be these two black women going against this white man, but the black women ain't really siding with the black community because we all are on the same page. And here they are talking about, well, what if we lived in an apartment building? Full transparency, I've been in a situation where I was hemmed up and it had nothing to do with me. And they were like, y'all still got to stay here. Y'all can't leave until we figure out what's going on. And it had absolutely nothing to do with me. And I was not upset because I understood the process. So them being disingenuous, like they don't understand military protocol, because she even went on to say, well, there's crimes committed every day in this country, and they are. And people are held all the time for hours and hours and hours that had nothing to do with it. I have seen with my own eyes the police run up in an apartment building in Chicago and there's kids in there. So what are y'all really talking about? I've seen them I've seen babies, little kids, 2 and 3 year olds, watch the police run up in there, grab a couple of people out and slam them on the ground and handcuff them in front of them kids. I've watched them push the kids to the side. I've seen all kind of things happen. So it's like, why is this any different from any other military police operation where civil rights are violated?
Hey,
If the civil
not
rights
that military. People get caught up on that. Say law enforcement. Law enforcement protocol. It's not military protocol. It's law enforcement protocol.
Well, you can't change up whoever's protocol. Their mission is to save lives and to get the enemy. They're not really tripping on hurting anybody's feelings or all of these emotional responses that people are giving. I just think that they thought we were gonna fall for the okie doke and we just sitting here rubbing our feet together.
All right. Start the video. That we can't hear you, Caution. Go ahead.
Hold on.
There you go.
Yeah, man. Some of our people are for it. Some of us are against it. That's really all it is to it, man.
Shit, that's
I'm
everything.
not for it. I think that they can do a lot of things better than what they're doing.
So, what would you have them do with illegal immigrants that are here? If you were in charge, what would you do?
Well, who are the real illegal? Who's the real illegal immigrants of this country?
Everybody that's here that's not a legal citizen who didn't go through the immigration process to come over here now.
Okay, did they go through any immigration process to become a part of this country?
You got
or did they murder and kill people and take the country?
Who's they?
Okay.
None of us did that. Nobody on the TV did that.
Bro.
You're talking about
Okay.
that happened 400 years ago.
Okay, bro.
I don't like that conversation either, Cautious, because that literally deletes everything that Black Americans have built for this country. So they will be saying that this land don't belong to us.
I didn't say this land don't belong to us.
That's pretty much what you said.
It's implied in your argument.
Everything
I didn't say this land don't belong to us. Everybody knows this land belongs to us.
By saying that who doesn't it belong to? Because
It don't belong to Europeans.
It don't belong to Africans either because we was brought over here.
Some of us was here before.
I was going to say some of us came over with the Moors, but that's a whole different conversation. We did not come over here on slave ships.
Yeah, we venture into woke territory, and I'm a logical person, so I can't have those types of conversations.
Then what are we talking about ICE for?
It's a political issue, and it's the topic of the show today.
Okay. Like I say, some of us agree with what's going on, some of us don't.
So,
you know,
so Carson, but there was a good question out there though. So what would you do though? That was the question that was asked.
As far as what? What would I do as far as what?
As far as dealing with these illegal immigrants, what humane way would you handle the situation? You can't just have a conversation telling us to leave. That's not.
Well, I would go back as far as I can to see who are original inhabitants of the land and how did they lose their land.
We already know all this. It's history books. It's documented. There are treaties in order. You're going back too far.
Okay, so did they
Black
break the
people love
treaty?
to
Did
do
they break
this.
the treaties?
You're going back too far. You're going back too far. We talking about in today's
all
world.
right, I'm not gonna go back too far then.
How it's stands. Like you can't just walk over to Europe and just become a citizen. I can't just go to Canada and be like, oh yeah, I'm a citizen because so-and-so fought for this back in the 400 years ago. We're talking about as it stands today. What it means to be a citizen in the U.S., you have to go through a legal process to get that done. So
Well, the
whatever
thing
happened
is,
back 500 years ago, they're going to have to take that up with the U.S. government. They're going to have to take that up with Spain. They're going to have to take that up with the U.K. They're going to have to take that up with everybody but us that live here right now. So what would you do in that regard to this solution? Because as a military-minded person, I really don't. I feel like certain things can be done and certain things can't be done. I don't see any reason why they zip tied a 2-year-old child. Right now, I don't see any reason why that happened. Okay,
Me neither.
I can't fathom that in my brain. They 2 years old. Stand over here, son. Stand by your mama, whoever. That part, I feel like that was like a humiliation ritual or something that they're doing as an intimidation tactic. Like, we'll get you and your kids, or like that was really out of line. They went too far with that. But as far as actually coming in and shutting down these buildings that they were taking over 4 or 5 months ago when they came in, they were taking over the apartment buildings here and setting up shop. All of them, because it's the Mexican cartels are here too, so they leaving some people out. They're taking over them buildings in South Shore. So what would be your advice to come in and get these people out of these buildings, whether there are children there or not? There has to be a solution to that.
What would I do to get the people out of the buildings?
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't. I don't have an answer for that right now.
I mean, the reality is, I'm kind of thinking about this in a different light. If the other administration would have gotten in versus this one, would we really be talking about this in the light that we're talking about? Would they really have taken the kind of the steps and the precautionary measures to handle this in a completely different light? Right? They would be probably shooting themselves in the foot. Like, a lot of us are splitting straws in terms of the methodology in which is being enacted. But the reality is the problem persists. They allowed a lot of these illegals to come in and wreak havoc. And sort of now the next administration coming in is trying to clean up what the previous administration couldn't do. Now, if that other administration would have gotten in, I think that the conversation wouldn't be about, children being handcuffed and all this optic. I think it would have been more about, like, we made the wrong decision in terms of the process of how we allowed people to get into the country. I think it would have been a pivot, but now it's about undoing and putting the genie back into the bottle after all this has allowed to happen for the last 4 years or 3 to 4 years, whatever.
So you think that due to the last administration, well, I was just trying to think about like the mayor in Chicago, if he's just pretty quiet right now because he recognized that it was an issue, and so he wants them to get out just as much as everybody else.
Does the governor not have any say about what his mayors do, or am I tripping?
No, Pritzker is quiet too. Pritzker ain't saying a thing. He just.
Well, I'm talking about back when they was okay with Chicago being a sanctuary city. Didn't the governor have a say in that?
Yes, the governor definitely had a say.
So, yeah, I don't know why this is just a mayor right now issue. And then let's not forget,
I think that all of this is bought. They bought and paid by the Democrats. Like that's on a whole nother level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. But one of the things we also got to remember, I think all black people's favorite president is probably Barack Obama, and he deported more people than the previous 2 administrations put together. So
I think it has more to do with optics. That's why people are so outraged.
I'm just saying, I don't think that we can say that it wouldn't have happened if the other side got in. I think the fight probably would have been a little more nuanced, or it would have been about parents getting detained because they won't let the teacher cut their kids' genitals off. But it would have been something. There would have still been this issue, just maybe, or this show of concern about an issue, just maybe not ICE right now or immigration.
How you feeling, Naomi?
So I got a couple of things. One, gotta be honest and be like, I think we can all agree. We all know where there's a bunch of illegal immigrants living. We see them all over the cities. Little Mexico, we all know this. But majority of the time, where are all these little clumps of illegal immigrants? They're in the high poverty areas. It's not anything new. It's not anything new. The fact of the matter is they're now pushing. I think that it's just propaganda from the administration. It's propaganda from the news. They're trying to be like, oh my gosh, kids got zip tied. You realize that happens. That happens a lot. I used to live in the DFW, and I lived in Oak Cliff and Pleasant Grove, and that was nothing new. That was nothing new. You could see that. And the reason why is because of the fact that we have to be honest. If you're here, so this is going to sound bad, and I've caught a lot of hate because I'm Latina, but I'm going to be real honest. If you are here illegally, you teach your kids where they need to go to hide to get away if you get caught up. You have uncles and brothers where the kids go to. You prepare them for that because you know you can get picked up, especially if you don't take the proper steps to be able to get your papers. That's why so what happened with me and my kids, the way that it happened, extremely unfortunate. And it really, really sucks. But the fact of the matter is I got roped into it too because I'm Latina. My kids got roped into it too because we are brown. So what happened to us the way that it did. But the fact of the matter is, though, to me, it looks as though they already know where the Latinos are. They already know where illegal immigrants are. They already know. You go to Houston, you go to Dallas, everybody knows a whole list of sanctuary cities. So you know where they at. Now they're actually putting force to arresting people, and then you don't like what it looks like now. That's what it sounds like to me. Because the fact of the matter is that these things need to happen. They don't like the way that it's happening. And now they're trying to split hairs like, oh my gosh, this is the process. Like if it's something new. This happens all of the time. It's unfortunate that everybody ends up zip tied, but we all been detained. I don't know about everybody else, but getting detained is not getting arrested. Does it suck? Yes. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's very scary for kids to be separated from their parents. That's very scary. When my kids were separated, when my daughter, my daughter's 10. She's gonna be 11 soon. When we were separated, she was very scared, and it's unfortunate. But if you are here illegally, you have a child here in the United States legally. We all know that as a Latina, because I've lived in Texas, if you have a child here, that's your best bet to stay here. So a lot of people who are illegal immigrants are coming here, having children here, so they can stay here. And that's like a workaround.
That's been going on for 20 years. We call those anchor babies. But
exactly. And that's the thing, though. We're sitting here like throwing I saw this on the news. I'm not even going to lie. And I was just like, well, you know what? I don't think people are really realizing like what these gang members are teaching their children. They're teaching their 5 and 6 year olds how to hold a gun. That's the truth of it. They're teaching their kids how to pass packages. They using them here in the United States. So they bring in their women, they having babies, then bringing the men, and then teaching them how to move. Y'all wondering how drugs are ending up more and more in the community in high poverty areas. That's how it's happening. And they're using kids. They're using kids. So
and they hide behind the black people. They try to make it seem like we don't exist. Committing the crimes when we ain't got a cartel nowhere. Have y'all seen a cartel in the black community?
So I'm gonna be honest with you, and I hope that nobody is offended as I say this, but it's very easy for a Latino to hide around behind a black person because black people are loud and we move in silent. So as we move, then it ends up getting louder and louder. Like, oh well, so if I'm detained, and this is just so I hope you're not offended as I
Yeah, I'm offended as hell. Calling me loud. God damn, Naomi.
I hope you're not offended as I use this analogy. But if if I'm moving drugs and there's another woman who's using the drugs, if I have them and I'm not using them, if I'm silent, the cops are gonna go for and this is probably gonna sound, I hope you're not offended, but a black woman is gonna be louder about being stopped. Then I'm gonna be quiet and they're gonna let me go. And that's unfortunate, but that's usually the way that it happens in high poverty areas, especially like in East Dallas and Pleasant Grove.
The parallels.
And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but that's the truth of it. It's easier for Latinos to move stuff and push it and sell it, and instead of getting their papers the right way. So yes, that bad part of the Latinos, the illegal immigrants, the cartel, it's easier to hide behind Black people in high poverty areas. And that's the thing. Everybody knows already where they're at. So the fact that they're raiding places, ISIS raiding places that everybody already knows about, it doesn't seem like anything new. Except that I personally think that they're using the current administration as like a scapegoat, because that's what Trump is doing. So now they're trying to add more hate to like why you voted for this. Okay, well, this is something that needed to happen.
Well, I mean, like, I know we're stuck. I know the conversations about ICE and illegal immigrants and stuff like that. And when people close their eyes and think of it, it's usually a certain face or a certain culture or a certain optic, right? But I'll be honest with you. When I was in grad school and I was in a lot of major cities, I came across a lot of white Eastern Europeans, Ukrainians, Russians, you know what I'm saying, Bulgarians, etc., who were in the country who overstayed their visa and have never renewed it or have never seeked any path. And they've been in the country for years masquerading as like white American, because they're not going to stop them. They're just leaving and going about their life, regular, every day, right? So they're not really the face of illegal immigration, right? Because they walk as white passing. Well, they are white, so it's just easily for them to kind of blend to everyday society, right? And that's not really the face, but you'd be surprised how many people like that I have come across at different facets of my life and had conversations with them. And in reality, like, yes, they might not be the ones who are the bad characters or doing anything nefarious, but if we're gonna call a thing, they also broke the law and they're also here illegally. The difference is that their presence isn't like hyped up as much as another set of group of individuals.
So what you're saying is, if you are European or white descent, you can come into the country and you don't have to worry about all of that, like you are a Mexican or anybody else, right? Is there any border patrol going on in Canada the way they do it in?
Yes, the Canadian Royal Mounted
Canada does not play that. I had 2 offices in Canada, Montreal and Toronto. Baby, please, if you have a DUI, you can't get up in Canada. They not playing no type of games over there.
Bro, go to Canada and lose your driver's license or your passport card and see what happens trying to get back. Man, listen, you talk about being detained. Like, yes, you ever seen like the Canadian police? They wear these crazy ass costumes and they ride horses. Like, it's not just like a Texas thing. Like, they have like, it's like the Royal Mounted Police or some shit. And you think that we aggressive, try to sneak into Canada. It's just, I would, pay to see it. Someone try to sneak into Canada and then just go live while they're being detained by those people.
No, let's just say you happen, like me, you happen to go to Canada on a work visa, right? Just like how they come over here in America, they have work visa, they have school visas. A year before that baby expire, they're gonna be at your door knocking. Excuse me, we're here to verify that when you're gonna leave, what's your new address? We need to know where you finna go. They not playing it.
Okay. So is it true, from what I'm hearing, that they also like to use the illegal immigrants for cheap labor in certain jobs? Is that true or false?
Oh yeah, I use some to fix my old house, my roof of my house.
Yeah, they've always that's standard across the board. I mean, even when you get to like the Chinese sweatshops, like I mean, they're standard across the board.
So
You
so we know we're in a
historic-
capitalist society, and so because I work at a job and they got all the Mexicans in the back, like fixing the tile and stuff like that, and I'll be looking at how they have them separated from the rest of us. You know what I mean? So my question is, are they really exploiting these people for cheap labor? If that is true, do they feel like they don't need the labor no more? Because as they've always done in history, whenever they don't need the physical labor because they've replaced it by machines, then they demonize those people and try to figure out a way to get rid of those people after those people help them build up a certain part of the country and the infrastructure.
Cautious. I think they just take certain ones. Now, of course, they're not gonna take all of them. Look, Donald Trump has a hotel and he's got some illegal immigrants working that motherfucker. He know which ones to take, which one to leave. We understand that, man.
Straight up.
It is
Straight
what
up.
it is. Look,
Straight up.
I went to Home Depot. I got some plywood, and I seen a few guys, and they got in the back of the truck and did what they had to do. Look, as a homeowner, I love them. I love them. I got a couple rental properties that they work at. Man, come on through. Man, I cut your grass. Come on through. My son gone to school. I don't feel like come on through, dog. I got $20 for you. Yeah, I use them. I ain't gonna front. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, I use them. Yeah, for cheap labor for sure. But look, I'm gonna say it again. If I knew I was hiring some criminal motherfuckers, I hope I don't bring them to my house because I don't want them motherfuckers sitting on my goddamn couch one day when I come home at night. I don't want to see that shit.
But that's just the problem, though. You can't vet these people.
No, you can't.
So
it is what it is.
that is what became the issue, or that's the issue that they made up an issue, is that we can't somehow vet people. But I also agree that it's targeted to one group. It's literally targeted to one group of people. And there are tons of immigrants of all races and all classes that are over here illegally, have been over here illegally for 20, 30, 40 years. I have a friend that's Ukrainian. Her and her parents they don't even want it. They like, for what? We ain't thought about that. Been here for 20 years on the home. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's not just Hispanics. It's Haitians. It's Africans. It's every denomination. You have Asians, like it's so many people that are here illegally. The problem is that there was really no real path to citizenship. So people would get over here, and once their visas expire, once their work permits expire, there was no one helping them gain these pathways to citizenship. So just end up staying. And it has happened historically. Like there is nothing once they run out. There's nothing left for them to do except for go back to their country. And most of the time, they don't want to do that because they've already established their lives here. So it just begins this cycle.
Well, I mean, this isn't a new play because, like, this seems like to be a recurring play going on. Because I mean, even in the UK, right, with the Windrush generation, who came to the UK after the Second Great World War, right? After World War II, they were trying to rebuild the country. The country was in shambles. They didn't have the infrastructure. They didn't have the manpower. They didn't have nothing. And sort of the countries in which Great Britain at the time had colonized and gave back their freedom, right, throughout the Caribbean and parts of South America, they collected a lot of those people and brought those up. There was this great, this great promotion of like, come home, you know what I'm saying, we'll help, become citizens, etc., help rebuild the country, there'll be jobs and all this and that. And those people brought their people over. They brought their families over. They brought their kids. They were educated there. They went to college there. They worked. They paid taxes. They own homes, cars, etc. Right? They became part of the greater society of that time period. And then it got to a point where these people went on vacation, and then they're like, "Oh, you can't come back into the country," or they're trying to, oust them out. And it's like, wait a minute, we contributed to building and becoming a part of this society. We got passports, licenses, pay taxes, own businesses, houses, and all of that. And all of a sudden, you're trying to march them out, right? So that's the biggest setup, right? So the play isn't that they're doing anything wrong. Well, in this example, they didn't do anything wrong, but they took advantage of that situation. It's just that the higher powers that be, want to pull the rug underneath their feet, right, and switch off the game.
I
See,
think
when I say that, I can't talk about the
biggest
past.
issue was I feel like the biggest issue that most people have right now is that Trump ended the birthright citizenship. And that was the win for Black Americans, because that literally said, like, hey, that was meant for us. It wasn't meant for anchor babies. So I think that was a step in the right direction towards immigration, in my personal opinion. I think that, to your point, Louise, you're talking about hundreds and hundreds of years. These immigrants have only been here about 60, and America was already built before they got here. So it's like, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but this country was well established with cultures and everything before these immigrants that we're sending back came here. So it's kind of like you can't really use that. Like, yeah, they came here for a couple years, but they're not established Americans. Like, they didn't establish anything in this country, like truly, like built the foundation of the country. No, they came from the indigenous people of this land. So I think what's happening is, I like to call it, Black people are having a renaissance. Black Americans, it's like the Black American Renaissance, and people can't stand it. Like, they cannot stand it. But it is what it is.
All right, let me get Diesel. Go ahead, Diesel.
What's going on, man? How's everybody doing this afternoon?
Wonderful. How you doing, sir?
What's up, OG?
So I just wanted to come up here and speak a little bit of my experience. I've been in law enforcement for over 20 years, and I try not to get political because I'm in a high-ranking position at my job. So I try not to get political of exactly how I feel personally when it comes to the deportations or anything like that. But from a law enforcement standpoint, I would say that when somebody does something that initially puts them in a category of a lawbreaker, right? Regardless of how big it is or how small you feel like that law that they broke is, they still broke the law. Then you have to wonder what it is they will take to continue to keep that thing they got to break the law. You get what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I think that is a major concern when it comes down to the government here. And it is the government's responsibility to take care of their home, right? It's and the people in that home. So if we have no idea why these illegal immigrants are in the country, and we have no way of finding that out because we haven't vet them and we don't know their actual names or where they actually come from and what their thought processes are, I think that's a big concern when it comes to the safety of the United States. Regardless of if that person has been here for 10 years and never broken the law, you got to understand we had illegal immigrants here that flew 2 planes into 2 of our buildings, and they were here for years, right? So that's something that is a major concern when it comes down to it. And I think people seem to forget what our past was, and they allow things to happen that could recreate that past that we've already had. When it comes down
being
to
a white illegal immigrant in America. I was born in America, but my father was not. He was born in Sweden. My parents, when they got married, they came over here legally. My dad got a work visa and then a green card. Eventually, my father lost his job, his green card expires, and he stays in America. My father is now considered an illegal immigrant. My father was arrested multiple times, did drugs, all while not having legal documentation. They never once threatened to deport him. Why? He's white! It's because he's white! Like, y'all, are you not seeing what I'm seeing? If you're a white person talking about, oh no, we're deporting them because they're illegal, you're racist. You're racist because you wouldn't deport a white person. America. I was born in America, but my father.
Goes back to what I made the comment about earlier.
I hope they send a goddamn daddy back then.
It goes back to what I was saying. It take one of them to say it.
I don't agree with that statement, because at the end of the day, if you have somebody, even if you have an Hispanic, Latino, male, female that speaks good English, and you have no reason to check their status, then you won't check their status. I mean, that's just that. I mean, I run into that all the time. Like, if I have no reason to check their status, I'm not going to check their status. It's not something that just pops up on our screen with red letters saying illegal immigrant. So you have to take certain processes to find out if that person's status is illegal or not. And if they don't fit the criteria to what that individual believes may make them possibly an illegal immigrant, then you don't have a reason to check that status.
People can get arrested, go to jail, and get sentenced, and nobody check their status. Come home, do their time, come home, go apply for jobs, and go on about their life like nothing happens. Like,
I mean, we see it in the guy that was the superintendent for a school system with the Delaware or something like that.
There you go. I was just about to bring that up. Buddy is a superintendent. That's the highest ranking person in that state, I believe, for something, like for police or whatever. And he's not a legal citizen. Like,
he was a school superintendent for 2 states, Pennsylvania and Delaware, or something like that. I think it was some place in Delaware. But I mean, like, you see it all the time. I mean, my guys, like, I worked 7 years with Homeland Security, right? Now, I didn't do the immigration side of it. I did the narcotics and the gang task force side of it. But at the end of the day, the only people that really check the status of somebody's citizenship are the immigration side of it, because that's what they deal with, right? You don't really deal with even when I worked Homeland Security, I was in the narcotics side. If we dealt with somebody that was a Hispanic or a Haitian or something like that, we didn't check their status while we were buying drugs from them. We just, did an investigation, and that was on the side of the the immigration side to check that status. So it's not something that is normally done when in the process of taking somebody to jail or something.
All right, what's going on, Bo? Not sure if you've been listening, but what you got on this topic? Please try to get yours in there.
So I have been listening a little bit here and there. It's not really surprising, a lot of the things that I heard, mostly just because we only know what we hear in the media. We don't usually carry compassion for people, and I hear that a lot surrounding this topic. I don't have no skin in the game. I am here because my ancestors were here. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have no choice in the matter. I was born here. But I will say that a lot of these undocumented migrants, and I really want us to get away from calling them illegal immigrants, they are really just joining the country of migrants. This is literally a country of migrants. I don't know what we don't get about that. And we only target, all of us, only target, and we only focus in on the people that come from the southern border of this country.
I don't.
What about all of the other migrants that come from Europe? There are so many undocumented European migrants here, but you all only focus on the brown people, and I think that's really unfair. Because you all are letting Caucasian people get away with letting Europeans stay here. They're not targeting them. And they will tell you with no uncertain terms that this is their country as well, because this is a European country. This is a Caucasian country. And you all are joining them in disparaging brown people as if Europeans are not also here illegally. Asians are also not here legally. They are here documented, undocumented, sorry. So I want us to have a little more compassion for those people who are here to make a better life for themselves, albeit that's almost impossible in this country unless you are a part of the 1%, 10%. But they're doing the best that they can. They are often not criminals. And if they are, it is the same thing as most criminal activity. It is out of desperation, and it is because they are not being given a fair opportunity. If you hunt people down like animals, they're going to act like animals. That's what happens.
Can we?
So
Can
you
we
want us to
just be
have? So you
honest?
want us to have sympathy
Hold on,
for
y'all.
motherfuckers that don't give a shit about us?
We
Because
don't
when
have
we
no
needed
sympathy
them,
for ourselves.
no,
There's a fallacy in that
no,
argument.
we
Hold on, y'all. One mic, y'all. One mic.
again, they when we was dealing with our struggle, where was they at? Where was our empathy that we needed from them? But they didn't join the team. They don't have nothing to do with us. Where the fuck was they then? But we go on mute. Why were they on our side when the white boys was whooping our ass in the goddamn shit? I ain't see no Mexicans out there jumping boards, say, "Hey brothers, come on over here with us. We got your back." Nah, them motherfuckers wasn't there. Them motherfuckers wasn't there when we was dealing with shit in 2020 with the Breonna Taylor shit. Where was the motherfuckers at then? Mike Brown, what was that then? They weren't on our goddamn team. They wasn't marching with us. But now, when they ship these motherfuckers up out of here, now we got to have some sympathy for these motherfuckers. Hell no. Get these motherfuckers that break laws and don't want to abide by the whatever laws they got in their protective state or city or country. Get them up out of here. I ain't got no sympathy for the lawbreaker. Now, if they are law-abiding citizens, then all well. Do what you got to do to get your citizenship to be in this country like you need to be in here. But if you're in here legally and you're not trying to take any steps on trying to become a legal citizen, fuck you. I hope they send that white woman's daddy up out of here, his dope fiend ass. I hope they get him while she all bragging and doing all that bullshit. I hope they get his daddy too. I don't give a damn.
All right, let's get Viz in there. Hold on, y'all. Let's get Viz in there, and then we'll come back to Diesel. Go ahead, Viz.
Yeah, I think if you are here, if you're in any country undocumented, you're there illegally. I think the left, the media has made it so that they are twisting words to where we know what it actually means. But if you're here undocumented, then you're illegal. If you have an undocumented firearm in most states, that's an illegal firearm. If you have an undocumented vehicle, you have that car illegally because it's not documented. It's a very simple thing that is honored across the world. You can't just walk into some country and be there undocumented and then expect for people not to call you illegal. That's literally the definition of being illegal. So I think that when you use that argument, that's a completely disingenuous argument to what realistically is happening.
And people can be deported back to their country if they're here legally, or excuse me, from other countries if you're there legally. I've been to 2 countries that I was there on a tourist visa for, and I got deported from Turkey for some shit that I shouldn't have been doing, and then I got deported from Saudi Arabia for just a misunderstanding in paperwork. So it's not like this only happens to them. I mean, you have to realize too that the largest group of people who are being deported, the reason why they're being targeted is because Mexicans, people south of the border, make up the majority of illegal immigrants in America. Also, they make up the majority of violent, criminal, illegal immigrants in America. And I don't have issue with them targeting that group of people. The ones breaking the law, over here doing some fuck shit, I have no problem with them being deported. I wouldn't necessarily say that you should leave the people who are not doing anything wrong alone. I think we should force them to go through the process, but I don't think that we should send them home to do so. But until they do get their citizenship, they don't qualify for any type of subsidies, grants, government programs because they are not citizens. So that would be my solution, and I feel like that's a humane ask for both sides, and meets. I think it addresses the issue in the most humane and I'd say compassionate way. But just because we're trying to kick out, they feel like they're only showing you when they're targeting the Mexicans too. Y'all got to remember that. Like seeing them go target, you know what I'm saying, a Jewish sweatshop or an Asian sweatshop, that's not gonna move the needle. That's not gonna piss nobody off. Like we just gonna think our carryouts is closed. Like nobody's gonna be mad about that. But when you show Mexicans and little kids, that's what the media knows will get us like up in arms, or it'll evoke a response from the group of people who care about shit like this. And to Naomi's point, if you notice, a lot of these conversations are being led, or you know what I'm saying, steered by black women.
So can I let me go real quick. So the problem with the argument that Bo had was that majority of European and Asian immigrants, illegal immigrants, are illegal because their visa expired. That means they've been vetted, they've been allowed into the country for a certain amount of time, and they let that visa expire. The reason why the federal government, they aren't so apt to getting those people back out of the country is because you have so many other illegal immigrants that have not been vetted. They're just here without a visa that expired. They don't even know. We don't even really know they're in the country until we encounter them. So I think that's the biggest problem, and that's why the government, they're focusing on the crossings that can happen by just somebody walking over instead of somebody having to use a visa by flying over or something like that and getting in the country.
Book.
Funny thing.
I did everything by the book. I've been very compliant. You know that. Hold on.
Come out. Stop.
I am gonna come out.
Come out.
Let me say goodbye to my family. Go ahead. Let me say goodbye.
Ow. You're hurting me. I'm trying to say bye to my husband. Do not push me. I will take him out. I will take him out. Relax.
Do not intervene with our arrest.
Relax.
Do not intervene.
I am pregnant. Do not touch me.
So let's keep your distance then.
I will take him out. It's okay.
Do not
intervene. No, that's fine. I will take him out. Babe, let's go. Come on. It's okay. Please, stop, please. I will take him out. Please.
You guys want to come out?
No, I will take him out. Please. Please. That's why. Babe, come on, babe. It's okay. Babe, it's okay. Can I please just say bye to him?
After we come from the election.
Please, because I'm pregnant. Please. Okay, babe, it's okay.
After we come from the election. Life is pregnant.
Please, babe, come here, please. It's okay. It's okay, baby.
I did everything by the book. I did everything by the book. I've been very compliant. You know that.
Baby, please.
You know that.
Please,
This is my phone.
Baby.
My phone in my pocket.
Give me.
Give it to his wife.
He has a backpack. Can he take it?
I got it.
He has a backpack.
Go ahead and give him a hug. Give me the. We gotta go.
Baby, I'm sorry. It's okay, babe. Come down. Got it.
Okay.
Good, okay?
Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
No.
They took my husband. So I'll send it Santa Ana?
I just want to point out.
According to Bo, this doesn't happen. So now we got.
I just want to point out the irony of 2 Mexican police officers deporting an Asian guy.
That's some nasty work, ain't it?
Boy, JR, boy, you found a clip right there, G. I don't
That's
know.
some nasty work.
That shit is so perfect. I think you might have made that in your little AI app because it was 2 Mexicans
Yeah, what it is.
deporting an Asian dude. And the Asian dude spoke better English with less accent than the 2 police officers. That shit was gold, JR. Good job, bro.
So the craziest
think
part
that we
is
are
nobody
immune?
disproved me.
Hold on, Caution. Let's let Bo first. Then we'll you.
None of y'all disproved nothing that I said. Just because someone's visa expired does not mean that they are still undocumented. They are still in the same position. It doesn't matter how they got here. The situation still remains the same. Is that they are both still undocumented. So you didn't disprove anything that I said.
Ma'am.
And it's crazy how Willie was the only one that actually addressed what I was talking about. Now,
You know what the
Sympathy for
process is
them.
to get a visa?
Sympathy for them does not mean leave them in the country. I'm not saying don't
She
deport
just
them.
talks.
I'm not saying that they should not be documented. What I'm saying is that the treatment of these people needs to be better. Because why would you treat them like that just because they are here undocumented? It's
Man, they
unfair
don't have
because
to
you
Treat our
all,
criminals
I
better.
don't know why do y'all, when you hear
Treat
my
our
voice,
criminals better.
when you hear my voice, that is when you want to speak. But when you
because
hear a
you're
nigga
wrong.
voice, that's
Because
when
you're
you don't
wrong.
want to speak. You respect
You're
a
wrong,
phallus,
man.
but you don't respect. I don't care. So,
Just let her be loud and
however,
wrong.
what I'm saying is that you should not treat people this way because you don't like when they treat your people this way. They are still humans and they should still be treated humanely. And it is unfair. That is the sympathy that I'm talking about. You all are okay with people being beaten and kids being ripped away from them, much like our ancestors had done. But you don't think that was right, but you think this is okay. That's what I mean by sympathy. I'm not speaking on their documented status. I am using that as an example of how that doesn't matter in the face of humanity.
Okay,
But if you don't care, you don't have to.
Hold on.
Okay, well,
Loud and
one
wrong.
question, Bohemian. How you doing?
Her visa,
Hold on one
How
second.
are you?
Bo, is your visa expired? Is that why you doing this? Bo, is your visa expired?
I got one question. Like, okay, so you said that we're not having sympathy for them.
Can I ask
I acknowledge that what is how they're being treated is wrong. I've acknowledged that no kid should ever be handcuffed, put in zip ties. We have to find another policy for that. But my question to you is like, if I sit on here and I say, okay, I'm sad, now what? How does that help us?
Man,
It
she
doesn't.
don't give a shit. She don't care. She
Hey,
just loud and
shut the fuck
wrong.
up.
For us
My
to be
bad.
sad, if we're sad,
Just loud and wrong. This help her.
realistically, if we're sad,
Now she gonna
how does
cuss
that
me
help
out.
them?
But
Us being sad,
God
or us
damn.
getting on TV saying that we're sad because this is happening to them. Oh, we're so sad that they're this is going on. That's what's next, because we've already acknowledged that it's wrong. We've already acknowledged that there needs to be some sort of change in policy, which they're not going to do. They're not going to change how they go in and raid. Raid policy is raid policy. You think that because you got on here and said that you were sad and that you felt like they shouldn't have did that's going to change anything? Like, I feel like we're too emotionally driven, and that's the problem. Black people love to move off of emotions. Like, we need to move off of logic and what makes sense for people and what makes sense for us, not us being driven by what's emotionally tangible. I don't understand that. I don't get anything off of me being sad for them. Like, nothing happens with me being sad. They were sad for us. That didn't help us. I'm sorry.
Hold on. You didn't like nobody interrupting you, ma'am.
No,
because I'm
You
trying
didn't like
to
nobody
figure
interrupting
out.
you.
Y'all, one mic, y'all, one mic.
I hear her question.
Shut your old ass up. I'm trying to
Where's
figure out
where's the empathy at for me? You empty for these Mexicans or these illegals, but you ain't got no empathy for me by cussing me out. What type of stuff is this?
Shut your
See what I'm talking about? But you want empathy for illegal.
Out if she has a question for me or if she wanted to make a statement. That's all. I'm trying to ask for clarity.
Yeah, that was my question. I said, now that we're sad, now what? Now, if we come out and say that we're sad and we have empathy for them, because nobody believes that a 2 or 3-year-old should be placed in zip ties and handcuffs. But historically, it's happened. Just like you see what happened to Emmett Till. We don't have to go on what happened to our people every day, all day. And we don't expect them to be sad for us. Like, we legit don't expect for them to be sad for us. We're not walking around begging people to be sad or feel sorry for us. That in itself does not matter. So that whole question is you guys trying to stand on this pedestal like Democrats do, like, oh my God, we should feel sorry for people. That makes us better than you because I have empathy. That doesn't make you better because you have empathy. It doesn't make you a better person because you have empathy. What makes you a better person is using your brain and realizing that this is all a ploy between the right and the left that has nothing to do with Black people. This isn't our fight.
It's really crazy how you automatically pay me as a Democrat. You've never asked me anything.
I didn't say you were a Democrat. I said this is a Democratic ploy.
Okay, you want to
don't put words in my mouth.
One mic, y'all.
You
One mic.
did.
One mic.
You literally just said that's what's wrong with Democrats. I never said that I was a Democrat.
Didn't say you were. I said that's what's wrong with the Democrats.
One mic, y'all. One mic.
Every time. That's what's wrong with the Democrats. And you're aligning with the Democratic agenda, are you not? Are you not aligned with their agenda on this?
Do you?
Because you sound just like the two black ladies from the other show we were just watching. They were aligned with the Democratic agenda. You're echoing their talking points. Is all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You're echoing their talking points.
So you want to talk. You don't want me to answer anything. Because every time I get ready to address you, you keep talking over me. Would you like for me to address you, or would you like for me to shut up and let you talk? Because I can let you talk.
I like the latter. I agree with the latter. Shut up.
I bet your old ass do. But I don't know what you would like from me. But you do not know what I believe politically. I am speaking on humanity. I am not speaking on politics. You don't know what I believe politically. I am only speaking because these people are people. And if that makes me a Democrat, I don't know what to tell you. There are no parties in this country. There is no political party. There is no left. There is no right. Everybody is the same. You either hate them or you don't. And if not hating them makes me a Democrat, fine, whatever. But me coming on here talking about their humanity does as much as you coming on here talking about whatever it is you're talking about. So if you want to speak down about how I believe these people are people, go right ahead. You're going to do it by yourself, because I see that now that there's no point in talking to you, because the only thing you want to do is monologue. You do not want to have a conversation, and that's perfectly fine by me. I identify you people, and I disconnect from you very quickly.
Meat kiddo.
This is all I want to say. Y'all let her.
Nothing she said made sense, by the way. She said a whole lot of nothing. I'm gonna just throw that out there. A whole lot of
Hold on, y'all. Diesel was talking. Go ahead, Diesel.
Y'all let her sit up here and compare somebody being snatched away their kids to be a slave to somebody being snatched away by their kids to be deported. And they're not supposed to be. This is ridiculous. We allow people to play on your heartstrings and feel sorry for these situations they put themselves in. Nobody forced them to cross the border illegally. Nobody forced anybody to do that. And now that the law is being enforced, y'all are mad about it. It's crazy. This is crazy as hell.
I can understand why black people, we have realized that us having sympathy and empathy for other groups, why that don't work for us. So I can agree with the brother who's saying that I can understand why brothers and sisters is like, why do we even care about them? Which I don't even know why we're discussing it if we don't care. But at the same time, my question to us is, what makes us think we are so immune to this same treatment? What makes us think that we're not going to have to, we're not going to face something like that? We've been facing it this whole time, dealing with these people. What makes us think we're not going to have to deal with that same issue?
I don't think that we're immune to it. We're just acknowledging that it's happened. They're up in arms because now it's happening to them. It happens to us on the day-to-day basis. So this concept that, oh my God, the big bad wolf is going to come, you guys should be scared, and this is what's going to happen. We've been dealing with the big bad wolf since the beginning of time.
Yeah, it's going to get worse.
We're not scary. If it gets worse, we're going to be here to stand 10 toes down.
And if we know we've been dealing with this, why do we sit up there? If we know we've been dealing with this, why do we sit up there and attack any black brother or sister that pointed out that we've been dealing with this? Unless you got the spirit, of a coon in your head, why would you even attack a black person to point that out if we all know we're dealing with the same treatment?
First of all, there wasn't an attack on a black woman for pointing anything out. What I pointed out was that she was being disingenuous as a black woman by even trying to say that we don't have empathy for them when everybody on this panel had already empathized with the issue. We had already acknowledged it. We had already said it was wrong. We had already said it shouldn't happen. Naomi, everybody on this panel had already got on here and said in perfect English that that was wrong and should no child be going through that. None of us on this panel have co-signed any of that behavior. All we have been simply saying is that fight is not our fight. We are not fighting against illegal immigrants staying in this country.
I'm co-signing.
When we say that, they say, oh my God, you guys should be sad and you guys should do this. And why aren't you feeling this way? Or why aren't you feeling that way? And it's like, dude, do you know the history of Black Americans in this country and what we've endured? Did you not see the water hose come out in the 60s? Like anything that they have ever came at us with, sweetheart, I don't know if you got faith in your ability, but my Majara spirit tells me every day that we ready. So anything they come with, we always ready. We stay 10 toes down. They knock us down. We come back. We ready. And ain't nothing gonna ever change that spirit in us. And I feel like y'all be mad because y'all can't break us with that boogeyman tactic. We good. Y'all said y'all standing on what y'all believe. We're gonna stand on what we believe, and there shouldn't be an issue with that.
I have no issue with kids being zip tied, especially with the ones that I see in daycares, because them little motherfuckers are bad. But doing it in front of their parents in this situation, again, I am categorically and vehemently against. So before somebody say I co-signed it in its totality, I don't. But the application of plastic restraints and zip ties has been something that served me well in my previous career and in some extracurricular activities that I may have. So I don't see an issue with it overall. I just don't want them zip tying like 6-7 month old babies. You like that motherfucker can't hold his head by himself. So like you don't zip tie them. And if you're gonna take people kids, I will say that it would probably be beneficial to do it the way they do it in Texas. And in Texas, they have CPS on hand when they do these raids to go in there and separate those kids and take care of them. But not trying to be funny, but Chicago is one of the worst ran cities in America from a government standpoint. So I wouldn't expect them to do anything correctly, or I mean, again, they can't even solve their gun violence problem. Period. So I don't see that Chicago should be the arbiter of this message. Like they should be talking about what happened in Florida when they deported all those Mexicans and the fruit prices quadrupled because nobody's going out there to get them. And then the farmers then turned around and said, oh shit, as bad as I don't want them here, we need them because my crops won't get harvested. I can't get them to get sold, so it's fucking with my pockets. Like I feel that conversation would probably be a little bit better one to have than saying this superficial one based off of saying the inflammatory language that all of them people did on that CNN panel.
Okay, can I ask Naomi a question, sister? Is it true? I already had a Mexican tell me. What is your race again, sis?
So I'm Mexican and Puerto Rican.
She's human.
Is it true? I've already had a Mexican. I had to get it up out of him. He finally told me that he already told me this, but I want to see what you have to say. Is it true that Mexicans mark down on their birth certificates that they are white?
So I was born in Puerto Rico, my guy. I don't know how Mexicans would do that.
So historically, yes. So if you look them up on the census and if you look them up on documents, like when they get booked in jail, like when Cardi B went to jail, it's gonna say white. It's either white or black. So they have a closer proximity to whiteness than we do, and that's okay.
So
there's a white, black, and Asian.
Yeah, I think it's white, black, and Asian. So they have it's white. They have to change.
So because I'm Puerto Rican, me and my children identify as black.
But you're also Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory, so before somebody in the chat think they're gonna deport you, probably make that clear.
Why are you considered black if you're Puerto Rican? Black is the color of our skin. That's a skin tone. That's not a. So I never heard of that before. I never heard no Puerto Rican.
I gotta run.
I'm low key shocked. I ain't never heard of that.
So I had this conversation. So if I have to choose between being white or black, I'll be black. I'm not gonna put white because you can only choose white, black, Asian, and my children do the same thing. So my children are they mixed, and so my children also put that they're black.
Okay. Does that help with like government loans and housing and business startups and stuff like that?
Yes.
What are you even asking? I'm still confused that she checks black. I feel like it's an identity crisis going on, but hey, that's neither here nor there.
Yes, that helps.
It's a lot more complicated because there isn't like a mixed checkbox, right? It's very obviously. You look at some of us and we're not white passing, white Eurocentric, right? One of our features, but we understand that you have to fall into whatever box. So it's kind of forced. It forces your hand to be like, okay, like, what do I really fall under, right? There isn't. It's very ambiguous because there's nothing that tells you, well, I fall under this category because it's not even available.
So the fact of the matter is that checkbox of being Hispanic.
Personally, just what makes you check black? Like I don't.
So if you let me,
in my brain, this is just my brain. No offense, Naomi, because in my brain, you're not a black Puerto Rican. Like they have Puerto Ricans that mixed in with the European people, and then they have the Puerto Ricans that mixed in with the indigenous and the Africans. I feel like I don't know what would make you choose black. I guess that's what's confusing to me.
Because I want to.
I guess it's not to me. That's fair. That's a fair answer, but it's just disingenuous when it comes to us as black people because I don't get to pick and choose whether I want to be white or black. I can
Because you're black. If you were Puerto Rican, you wouldn't be able to.
No, what if you're a black Puerto Rican?
So she probably knows something about our history. If you go back,
if you're
a lot of these people come from.
Still choose white.
A lot of these people come from us anyway.
Every job posting I've ever created, when I put it on the job boards, Mexican is not an option.
Exactly.
Puerto Rican is not an option. Non-Hispanic is an option. White is an option. Black is an option. And American or Native Indian is another option on some. So, no disrespect. If she has to pick between, she can only pick between white and black. I would not think that her people were any closer to the Caucasus Mountains than ours were. So.
I just never heard. I never even had that conversation. I didn't even know that.
So here's the thing. So do you realize that if I put that I'm white on paperwork, I could probably get away with a lot of shit because I'm light, and I have hazel colored eyes. To be honest, I have hazel colored eyes and I'm light skinned, so I could get away with a lot of shit. But I don't want to. But the fact of the matter is that I choose because I can choose. If I have to choose between white or black, I'm going to pick black. As a Mexican, you're taught to put white so you can get away with things and get things and benefits. But I don't want to do that. The fact of the matter is, the same fight that you're telling me, like, well, why are you choosing that? Because I want to. So if I have to choose between being white or black, I choose black. My children do the same thing.
So she won't be on the good team. I heard you. Shout out to you.
But your kids are mixed. They supposed to. Like nobody saw how nobody pushed back when you said your kid was mixed and they picked black. It was just because
because I do, because I'm light. I'm lighter with green eyes.
Do you consider yourself Afro-Latina?
Yes.
Yeah, that's why you would pick black. It's a very simple answer.
Why she did it?
She considers herself Afro-Latina and she uses the N-word and she chose white. I guess that's why I'm confused.
She chose white, you said? I thought the sister said she chose black.
No, Cardi considers herself Afro-Latina. She uses the N-word. And on all her paperwork, she puts white.
I'm not Cardi. I can get.
I'm just confused. Like, what makes one choose?
Well, did you hear what she said? She's trying to get them benefits.
The benefits.
She's trying to get them goddamn benefits.
That's why I asked the question.
Y'all brought Cardi into the situation. Like, y'all got paperwork on Cardi?
Well, she put out her jail record, and her race was marked down as white. And then she put out. She put it in her court record.
That's why y'all finna flip it to a different. Go ahead. My bad.
The conversation.
Hey, PCR too. I only came up for one reason. PCR.
We're gonna state your reason, big brother. Welcome to the.
No, I just heard. I heard Chill Will saying Chicago the worst run city, so I was just coming to see if we can get some validation on that, on how Chicago is the worst run city in America.
What triggered you. That's what triggered my brother. I just got back. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Conversation. Willie been saying some wild shit all day, so
I where Chill Will at? Where he at?
No, Willie been saying some wild shit.
I rock with Chill Will. No, Chill Will the homie. I ain't coming for no smoke. I'm looking for the validation. I'm seeing we can substantiate that Chicago is the worst run city in America.
Oh, damn. You on mute, Will? You on mute?
Okay,
let's start with you saying that the fact that your city is in chronicle financial distress and debt, the high levels of corruption and political malfeasance.
Wait. Let's take it. Can we go one point at a time?
I'm gonna give you the list and we'll break it down.
Okay, cool.
Police, the fact that your police department is completely and utterly useless. The highest crime rates they saw are petty theft and traffic relations, and then just the overall over-articulated and over-advertised economic decline of the city. Now we can go.
Okay, so you said police, right? Which I would agree that if you're saying our police is underfunded or understaffed, I wouldn't disagree with that. I know a lot of good brothers, but I don't want to do it anecdotal.
Right, for
And
sure.
you're saying the
I know
clearance rate.
when we
Wait,
talk
wait,
to
wait. But hold on. You said lay it out, and then we could discuss. So the clearance rate, I would actually agree with, because when you think about homicides, but okay. So where does Chicago rank for crime nationally?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay. So again, because we break it down, where Chicago is the worst city,
I said
right?
one of the worst.
Oh, one of the worst.
Yeah.
Okay, well, one of the worst.
It's definitely not the worst.
So okay, so
That'll
Chicago.
be Memphis.
Wait, hold on. Hold on, Luis. Because I think there are some serious misnomers about Chicago, and I think it's a dangerous message, because I think people tend to propagate this message of Chicago being one way, and that's the way that they run you out of this city and get you to they trick you out your spot, right? And they tell you how bad it is here and how it's one of the worst cities here. Meanwhile, they run in and the shit that we set in, which was projects and low ends, them shit's going for $500,000 up to $1 million easy now. The city is not. So now, when you say with the police force, I got you. When you say economy, do you know Chicago is in one of the top 5, if not top 3, for tourism? Like, what do you mean when you say the economic? I don't even know if you're saying disparity, because that would include point to like racial disparity or whatever. What do you mean when you say the economics of Chicago?
Your taxes are high, your population is declining, and the vacancies in like your downtown areas and your most expensive real estate, y'all have almost a 40%. Y'all only have a 60% occupancy rate. So from a business
And what?
standpoint,
Wait. Pause. A 60 occupancy rate in what? You're talking about the buildings in downtown Chicago?
in the most expensive real estate in Chicago. So if you want to look at a major city and you want to see what they're
where are you pulling that data from?
The U.S. Census Bureau.
And what year is that?
I'm not gonna hold on. I don't know. I didn't go that far down. 2023.
No, that's cool.
2023.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I got it up.
Okay. So 2023. So, and my question would be, where does that compare to most other major cities? Because again, you're talking about New York, LA, Chicago. So I would venture to say, wait, hold on one second, because you're saying the occupancy rate, which is real estate in downtown Chicago. You didn't say Chicago Metro. You didn't say Chicagoland area, which would be completely different, right? And then, so I would say, okay, well, what does that compare to New York, LA, and then again, Chicago is third. Right.
So only of those two cities that you mentioned, right? So this is the point. I would never say Chicago in the same sentence as LA or New York for anything. So to be clear, because LA is significantly more financially beneficial to our country, or as a city to our country, than Chicago is, and then New York is as well.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. If you say that, you're being disingenuous. There's a reason why, again. Absolutely not. There's a reason why Chicago is the third, and has been consistently the third largest city in the country.
Who's number one is New York.
And New York and LA is number 2. But
so
listen,
you worse than
I'm
both
51.
Of them.
Sir, listen. Wait, Will. I'm 51. It's been 1, 2, 3 for 51 years.
Cool.
What are you talking about?
We're talking about for tourism. I gave you 4 other reasons why y'all suck. You want to stick to the one?
No. Chicago is what's that? Condé Nast, CONDENAST, number 1 in tourism. Go check the hotel occupancy rate. Go check Lollapalooza. No, sir, you way off. You way
All right,
off.
I think pause. Hold on. Take a pause for a second. Let me get Luis in this conversation. Go ahead, Luis.
Oh, my bad. Shout out to Luis. What's up, brother?
What up, brother, man? How you doing, man? It's been a while. So I'm just looking. So I took a moment while you guys were debating back and forth. So I'm looking at the national ranking for all cities across America and where they rank. And what I'm seeing is it says Chicago ranks number 136 out of all cities across America. And it says that Provo, Utah is like the number 1 best ran city across the U.S. Now,
now what are the metrics?
So it seems like the metrics are based on a few factors. You know, it being infrastructure, inflation, crime, growth, population, and there's a few things. I put it in
The
the
same
chat.
4 I gave you were the metrics.
Wait, Luis, let me ask you this. How many Fortune 500 companies are moving to, you said Provo, Utah?
Yes.
Yeah. How many and where you pulling from? What data center is that you pulling from?
It is Wallet Hub,
Wallet Hub.
Yeah. Which is pulling
I'm on
its
mute.
data.
Yeah, you can't win this one, G.
No, I actually can because I'm actually here, right? And
That
I've
doesn't
done the
mean
numbers. I
anything.
only pull up when y'all talking about Chicago. So this not a chill will. This ain't really finna be like, if you make a point, and I think I've came out the gate and conceded a couple of points. So I'm having an honest conversation. But if you pull me up something from Wallet Hub, I'm I'm kind of gonna like question that, right?
Well, I didn't do
But we
that.
know.
So that's for
Right. Cool. So again, when we talk about tourism, Chicago ranks top 5. Okay, there's a
That's not what we
reason
were
why
talking
they.
about, though.
Okay,
That's
what are we
only
talking
one
about,
thing,
Joel?
bro.
Because you said Chicago is one of the worst cities.
Yes, one of the worst ran cities in the country. That's exactly what I said.
That's what it was. Go ahead.
So I
Hey,
understand
let me ask you
Chicago
this
is
before
5.
you go, Will. Let me ask you this: Is Chicago crime down 30%?
Sure.
Okay, go ahead. I'm gonna go on mute.
Is it still higher than giraffe pussy? Yes. Is Chicago operating in $1 billion deficit?
What city? Yes, they are. What city is giraffe pussy?
No, it's just high. That was just a
Oh,
euphemism I
okay,
used
got
for
you.
saying high.
Got you. I'm just trying to figure out the city, right? So yeah, it's a bit. We had $1 billion deficit in terms of funding right
In a
now.
small
Yes.
city, in a very small city with a small.
Who's a small city?
Compared to other cities that have large deficits like that, you guys are significantly smaller.
Well, Chicago is 2.7 million. Wait. Compare us to other cities with 2.7 million people in it. What other cities have 2.77 million people in it?
Give me a second. I mean, Dallas does, but we don't have a deficit either. But we're in Texas and we're a rail-round state.
No.
Give me a second.
Pull up the data that shows me Dallas has 2.7 million people in it.
Okay. That's easy. I mean, like you said, you're there. I'm from there. It's not hard to figure out.
You from where? The
Dallas.
crib? Oh, okay. Now again, and I'm not clear because I hear y'all say Dallas and then I hear y'all say Dallas Fort Worth. So I'm not saying Chicago and Chicagoland area, right?
Even still. Yeah, we
no, there's a come on, brother. There's a difference.
It's not because based on where the airport is, correct? I mean, it's how we figure out where you're flying into, and you keep
Man,
flying
I know
to
you don't want to
DFW
do
airport.
O'Hare and Midway. I know you don't want to do that.
I have no problem with it because
that's a whole different number. That's what I'm saying, brother. But go ahead.
Well, even cool, right? So let's just say that y'all have more people than Dallas, right? Y'all have $1 billion deficit.
Sure.
Let's talk about that. That's a
what do you want to talk about?
Well, that's a key sign that the city is poorly ran. You have $1 billion deficit. A city does, not the state. A city. Right. I'm sorry, my bad, Scotty. He said billion. I gave him billion. $2 billion deficit. And then y'all got
it's $1 billion deficit. No. Whoever Scotty is would need to put that information in put that link in there, right? I'm not finna keep letting y'all do this, right? It's $1 billion deficit, and I concede to that.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry because DFW has 8 million people in it. My bad.
Dallas Fort Worth, right? So I didn't do Chicago. Come on, hey fam, what we doing?
Well, if you did,
right?
Okay,
I didn't do Chicago. I didn't do Chicagoland.
None of what you have $1 billion deficit. That's the problem. Like you want.
So you want to attack the $1 billion deficit? So wait. So again, this is what I say because people that don't come from Chicago, ain't been in Chicago, don't know nothing about Chicago, right? And listen, and I'm not one to cape for Brandon Johnson, like he came in and did whatever, right? You'd have to absolutely look at the previous administrations before him, and we absolutely have to start at Daley, right? And then go to Rahm, and then go to Lightfoot before we.
It's like you're trying to explain why. You're trying to explain why. I'm talking about.
No, I said they had $1 billion deficit. I said we had $1 billion deficit, but go ahead.
Because again, as someone like you said, someone who's not there, who hasn't been there, is not from there. Well, I'm not from there, but I have been there, and I have a vested interest in the city of Chicago. So I know exactly what I'm talking about because I have an interest in the city. I have money in
Good.
Chicago. I would say that
me and you both on the same page. Yes, sir. Go
for
ahead.
the majority of people, right, that have these conversations, I don't talk about nothing I don't know about.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
have
yeah.
any respect to. So again, when I
Me
say
and you both on the same page.
Chicago is one of the worst ran cities. It is, and I gave you the reasons why.
Okay, are you saying historically or currently?
No, I don't give a fuck about. I'm talking about currently. Historically, I didn't
Oh,
have money in
currently
Chicago.
worse ran. Okay,
Luis
cool.
was trying to get in that too. Go ahead, Luis. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Luis. Well, once.
Oh shit.
Where Luis go?
Left.
Oh snap.
The Wi-Fi janky.
Hey, and chill, Will. We both on the same page with the vested interest, so I'm on the type of time you want. So I'm curious to hear this.
So nothing I said was inaccurate. Currently, Chicago is one of the worst.
Well, the $1 billion deficit. No, I don't agree with that part. But $1 billion deficit,
$1 billion,
yeah.
And then next year, you guys are set up for a $1.15 billion deficit. So you guys are going to be operating as a loss. So basically, y'all are the WNBA of the United States.
Absolutely not, bro. How do you arrive there?
Because you guys are operating at a deficit the same way the WNBA
We're
does.
operating at a deficit, correct? Now, how many years have we been operating at a deficit? You think that 1 point? You think that? Wait. Hold on, though, because that matters. You think the 1 billion just came into place with this current administration? That's why I was asking you historical or current. You said I don't care. So it wouldn't matter if the current administration is trying to remedy what took place from previous administrations, right? It's just the worst ran, right? And again, this is why I say when y'all look at the news and you say you have a vested interest in, when you look at the news, you can't tell the difference when they tell you Chicago has a crime problem and you yourself, if you have a vested interest here, then you know exactly where that crime is happening. You know that's not
100%.
happening everywhere in the city. You know on Mag Mile, they gonna protect that. They gonna raise them bridges so ignorance can't travel over across that bridge. Right?
Correct.
You know they're gonna develop and invest on the north side, right? But now we have Invest in Southwest, where they invested $1 billion, committed, and investing $1 billion on the south and west side of Chicago, and on the south side where I reside, I can see that.
So since
Right?
2007,
and and we've never had that investment from another administration since Harold Washington. Is that fact or not?
That's true. I'll give you that. I can see that point. That's for some reason. That's one of the things I know about y'all. But I also know this. That y'all have been operating a deficit for the majority of the year since 2007. So you guys have had 2 years where you didn't operate at the deficit, and those years were 2010 and 11, apparently. So for the past almost 20 years, you guys operating at a deficit. Again, further supporting my fact that Chicago is a poorly run city. One of the reasons why I have a vested interest in Chicago is because the real estate deals that are going on right now are cheaper than shit.
Facts.
So, and it makes that I wouldn't be there if the city wasn't ran bad, if it wasn't bad, because that's where you find the deals. So the reasons that I gave you, the first 4, right? Those are how I say that it's bad, but we're talking about currently, not historically. Currently, right now, Chicago is ass as far as how it's being run. Not the people, not the culture, not the tourism. I fuck with all of that. But as the city is being ran from an infrastructure standpoint, it's ass. Like that's why I said it's the WNBA of the United States.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry, it's the WNBA of Illinois, not the United States.
Okay, cool. Well, no. Be clear. Chicago literally is the capital. Regardless of Springfield, Chicago is literally the capital of Illinois. This is the economic hub. Everything runs through here. Right? Yep. And there's a reason why. And regardless of whatever you pull up, Chicago is still the number 3 city in the country.
For tourism.
Period. No,
it's
period.
For tourism. It's not
No. Period. Okay, so hold on. Let me. No, don't do that, JR. Okay. So Chicago is the number 3 country. So who are the number 1 and 2 for tourism?
LA.
Are you about to tell me New York? LA is number 1 for tourism?
Or New York? No, New York is New York is the number 1 visited tourism place in the world. So I would say that LA
is the number 2 place for tourism.
Well, you know what? I'm good at asking ChatGPT.
Right. So when I say number 3, we're talking about economy, we're talking population, because I think we jostle back and forth with Houston, if I'm not mistaken, in terms of population. I know what you're saying about Dallas, Fort Worth, and your 8 million.
My bad, bro. Chicago is number 8. Number 1 is New York. Number 2 is Miami. Number 3 is LA. Number 4 is Orlando. That makes sense. San Francisco.
What year is that?
2025.
Okay,
Las
cool.
Vegas is number 6. DC, damn, is number 7. Chicago is number 8. Boston is number 9, and number 10 is Hawaii.
That's for tourism.
Yes. According
And
to
that's
the
based on
International Trade of
no, it's not
Condé
that.
Nast Traveler, U.S. News
That's
World
Condé
Report.
Nast. Okay, cool. Yeah, I trust Condé Nast. Because Condé Nast also voted Chicago the number 1 destination. So I'll concede that point.
So and also Condé Nast.
Luis is back.
Go ahead.
We were calling you. We seen you trying to say something.
Nah, I got a phone call, man. I was trying to mute up.
But also it's Condé Nast said Chicago is number 1 for food tourism, which I don't disagree with at all. I don't think y'all got a lot going on in Chicago, but one thing I'll tell you, every time I go to that motherfucker, I gain 10 pounds. So I give it that. But again, so you now you have the information based on your own argument. Y'all are number 8. So y'all in the top 10. That's cool. But for the argument that I gave you, based on the key metrics that I gave, which determine what we
What'd you say? Crime and what else?
Crime, infrastructure.
Yeah, I wanted to go to that infrastructure piece. Go ahead.
Population decline. And
yeah, the population, the black population in particular, is definitely declining. That's correct.
It's not black. It's all population is declining in Chicago.
It's in particular. Trust me, I promise you. In particular, is black. Right.
That just means that y'all are declining the most, but everybody is declining. All races. But you're right. Black people are declining. Y'all have the highest.
The population in Chicago, in the city of Chicago, is 28.7%. I'm just saying off the top of my head. I know it's 28%. Then say it again, Gerald.
I said you said put some respect on your name.
Chicago. No. Shout out to JR. No, I'm trying to have a real conversation with my brother because I'm only gonna pull up when y'all talking Chicago. I ain't pulling up no other time. When y'all had the DNP, y'all can have that. These unruly heifers, y'all can have all that. But I'm talking about the crib right now. Right?
Yeah, all right. I be in these streets.
I definitely, you know this for a fact, right? And so the black population, I would agree, is declining. The other populations, and I'm not sure what you're looking at, Willie. The other populations are rising because while all of us are forsaken and being tricked out of our bag, the other people are moving in and buying it dirt cheap, evidenced by the fact that you said so yourself. This is why they coming in Bronzeville and Pilsen and pushing people out and raising the rent and raising the property values up to $500,000. On the low end, on 43rd in Cottage Grove, buildings going for $1 million now. Go down King Drive, start at 35th, go all the way up to 53rd. Go look at what those brownstones are going for. There's a reason for that, my brother. But I want to hear what you're saying with regards to this infrastructure and how the city is one of the worst ran based on infrastructure. I'm curious to hear that argument.
Well, infrastructure, as far as your political government, the known corruption, the significantly degraded trust in public officials, and then the fact too that you guys have the highest turnover of public officials, I think, in of the 136 states that we're talking about. I mean, cities we're talking about.
Wait, you said we have the highest turnover of what?
I would bet that you guys have the highest turnover of public officials in the state, of the 136 states that we, or the 135 states that are better, not states, cities that are better than you in America.
Wait, are you saying like the aldermen get voted out every election cycle? The senators, the Congress
from the original topic.
No, go ahead, JR. Go ahead, run your piece.
Anybody else want to chime in? I just want to be fair to the panel. So a lot of folks can't speak on in Chicago, so they have no idea. So it's either could be educational right now.
And that's my point. Okay, go ahead. Hey, chill, Will. I'll get with you, fam. I'll get with you.
All right, bro. Hey, listen, I ain't gonna say shit be wrong, bro. Not on internet, dog. That shit is bad. Cause niggas will clip you, bro, and have you saying, like I said, like earlier, somebody gonna clip me saying that, well, Willie MF Beeman said that he zip tie his kids and beat them and then hang them over alligator ponds and shit. Like, you know how the internet go, bro.
God damn.
Hey, Bo, I see you came back. Did you want to speak on anything?
I'll hook up the lies.
Chicago got real good food. Since everybody think I'm fat, I'll approve that message. I don't know. I don't know much about Chicago. I just know about what's
Shout out to the big body women. Chicago got good food. I know that's right.
That's fine. Y'all can keep thinking I'm fat. But
Damn, you said
yeah, I
this.
don't know what's going on in
You
the
saying
news
this.
right now.
Nobody called you fat up here, man.
Hold on.
Hey, JR, and let me say this,
I'm
and I'm
not talking about
gonna dip off, JR. I got to get back in the gig real quick. Only reason why I bring that up, right, is because these people in these media spaces will tell you whatever about wherever, right? And you never check in with boots on the ground, or you never do the recognizance behind the numbers, or even to understand why they report in the way that they report. And again, meanwhile, they trick you out your bag the same way they trick them people in Atlanta into selling Big Mama and them property on
You
Auburn
right.
Ave. You literally sold property literally next to Martin Luther King birth home,
You right.
right? And they come in and run it up while they telling you whole time, hey, JR, right now, I promise you, when I get off, if y'all still on, I could drive you down there on 63rd and King Drive, and I could show you where people from University of Chicago are now walking dogs close to O Block. I can show you the multi-million-dollar development, 10 walking steps on 63rd and King Drive over there by Parkway Gardens, right? So they're gonna trick you out your position and tell you this the worst run city. Meanwhile, they coming in, evidence by my man Chill Will owns rhetoric that he coming in buying it up because it's cheap.
Hey, real, watch this though. JR, did I not ask you about what was going on in Chicago a while back and saying where should I buy, where should I not buy? So mind you, so the not doing a due diligence, not doing recon, and I'm just saying, I understand a lot of people like that, but I'm not me. That's not me.
No. Will, I'm not casting that aspersion to you. I'm saying, are you the majority or the minority? Right? You gonna do your due diligence because you know, maybe
I know better.
capitalists or
Yeah, I
have
know better.
vested interests or whatever. Right. I'm saying most people look at the news and say, man, don't go over there on O Block. Like people from the crib don't even like what? Only goofies refer to this place as Chirac. We don't say that here.
Yeah,
What you
y'all
talking
should
about?
beat DJ Academics ass for that.
Man, hey, look, I'm going. Hey, JR, I love y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for letting me up, bro. Let me get back in with the phone. Hey, Chill Will, I'm gonna hop at you in the comments on the IG joint.
Bet.
We can
All right.
build that, my man. Appreciate you.
All right, let's go ahead and let Bo finish. He just let her finish.
I was gonna
No, I ain't gonna say nothing.
well, clearly you are, but a lot of these things that are happening, because I'm in a city where they just deployed the National Guard as well. I just sat up and saw emergency vehicles going back the other way on the expressway, and they are slowly making their way to my side of town. And the areas of town that they are targeting right now on this deployment are the areas that Memphis 3.0 had a lot of meetings in about what to do with these neighborhoods. Not because necessarily of high crime, but it's because they want to gentrify these neighborhoods. They want to turn these neighborhoods over. And these are the neighborhoods that they're literally targeting right now. It's either, and I'm pretty sure that we're gonna have a lot of ICE raids as well here, but the National Guard is being deployed. And this is just my opinion. I can't say, what their agenda is, but given the map of Memphis 3.0 and what they've been trying to do with the city, where the property values have gone up artificially, those are the areas that they are targeting currently. And I just want us to be wise, and I want us to pay attention to what's going on, because while we are here arguing about undocumented migrants or illegal immigrants, it's pointless. It makes no sense. I have an opinion on it, but in the grandest scheme of things, there are things happening that are larger than this conversation, and I think that we need to open up our eyes to see that right now.
Hey, real quick, I just have a little bit of pushback. Are we finna sit up here and say that Memphis doesn't have high crime?
I didn't say that.
Okay. Oh, all right. Because
no, I'm not saying that. Yes, it does have high crime, but it, just like people in Chicago can tell you, it's not as bad as they're trying to make it seem. And we have to put full context to the numbers that come up, the areas that it happens. What are the facts surrounding the crime? So what I'm saying is, I could leave my vehicle out in my driveway right now, which I've done before. I don't know how. I've left it outside of the garage. I've also left my key in the cup holder outside of my house, and nothing has ever happened. I've left my garage door up mistakenly, and nothing has happened. So, and I stay in the middle of the hood. I stay in a very good neighborhood. It's a very good pocket, but it's still in the middle of Orange Mound, and everybody knows what Orange Mound is. Well, everybody that knows Orange Mound knows what it is. So
Pearls and
I'm
gold
just
teeth.
saying, it's
Shit,
not
A-Ball
that.
MJG told us what it was.
It's right. It's not that there's no crime. It's not that it's even low crime. It's just they're painting a worse picture than it really is, especially for people who actually live here. Now, if you take your Caucasian self and you go in the middle of somewhere where don't nobody know you, I don't know what to tell you, because these people want some money. If you got it, they're gonna get it.
But I think every city's like that. Like I'm from one of the
God damn.
and it's okay. I can go back to where I'm from because I'm from there. I know the people. I'm saying I know where to be, where not to be. But again, we talk about for just the average person. If they pull up to Memphis, if they go to Oak Cliff, them niggas are not trying to stay there. Like they're going to Memphis to get barbecue. They're going to Oak Cliff to do whatever we have in the city. And it's not, that doesn't mean that it's just say it's not that bad for us. But for out of towners and tourists, it's terrible.
Yeah, but ain't shit to go to see in Memphis though. What are you gonna see? Fucking Elvis Presley's.
Man, Memphis got some fire ass barbecue, bro.
No, they don't. No, they don't, man. They overrated. I'd rather have Paps from Kansas City.
Well, I'm from Texas and
Memphis.
we run barbecue, but I will say that I respect Memphis barbecue.
Well, that's not true either. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's a lie.
Unless you might be on the grill, bro. I want to hear it.
Like I think it might be one of those things that like people. Like I think some of the cities people live in, I think that's their good, because I mean, Chicago got some fire ass barbecue, but
where that barbecue came from in Chicago? I bet you them niggas from Texas.
St. Louis. They came from St. Louis.
Oh, you know what? I give St. Louis barbecue fire too, though.
St. Louis or Memphis, because there are a lot of Memphis people up in Chicago.
Look, again, ain't shit in Memphis, ma'am. What you got that goddamn ragged ass pyramid? Go see a racist ass Elvis Presley. Nobody give a shit about Memphis. You might as well go 2 blocks and get to Arkansas and have a better goddamn time.
Kentucky, raggedy ass. And all y'all got is.
Well, that's the state. That's the state, not the city, ma'am. That's the state, not the city, ma'am.
Where you from?
I don't care. Nobody cares about the entire state. It ain't nothing in there. Ain't nothing.
Well, we know ain't shit in Tennessee.
But a damn derby. You got running horses.
But you know about it. You know about it, though, right? Bo, don't do that. Bo, don't do that. You've been down, ain't you? You've been to the Derby, ain't you, Bo?
When I would never go to Kentucky.
Bo, stop lying.
Never go to Kentucky.
She had a Derby gala hat and every goddamn thing.
You ain't got nothing but some horses.
She was sipping on a mint julep and everything, Will. She up here lying.
The Derby is kind of fire. Like,
I don't know. She just talking.
Nothing. The whole state is known for nothing but the Derby. Nobody cares about the
entire
state.
What is Memphis known for? Killing somebody. It's a murder capital of the goddamn city. That's what it is.
Do you understand who comes from this city?
Yeah, racist ass Elvis Presley.
You all have so many people that have influenced the culture that comes from here.
And guess what else came from Memphis?
We write your songs.
The person that killed that deleted Martin Luther King. Where you think Martin Luther King got deleted? In Memphis. Y'all ain't shit.
And what's happened in Kentucky?
At least ain't no civil rights activists got murdered. I tell you that.
Jack Harlow.
We appreciate black people down here.
Nothing of substance has happened in Kentucky. Nobody.
That's why it's so goddamn depressing in Memphis. Everybody in Memphis won't leave Memphis.
Y'all funny as shit. One of my favorite rappers is from Kentucky.
I know that's right. Which one?
And
Jack Harlow.
Nobody know him.
Hell no.
ESTG. ESTG. Okay. I don't know.
As a 41-year-old black man to say Jack Harlow, one of my favorite rappers, bro, get the fuck out of here.
Hey man, I don't know your flavor, baby. I'm just asking.
Fuck no. Like Memphis is known for Glorilla.
Shout out to Bryson Tiller. Don't forget Bryson Tiller. Now he from here too. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Bryson, I got
his CD. You got his album. You downloaded it.
Bryson Tiller is the king of, you know what I'm saying, telling women they niggas ain't shit, man. I don't want to hear nothing. Like, no.
That's a fact. That's a fact. But we can't keep bragging about Memphis like it's the place to bag, man. You know, man, I drove straight through Memphis. I said, forget about it. Now you talking about how great Memphis is.
I ain't bragged about nothing. I didn't brag about anything.
I live in the hood of Memphis. Leave my car.
And the fact that Kentucky don't have nothing but some horses and some big old hats. Nobody cares about Kentucky.
Let me tell you, home
Y'all got hats and horses.
of Ali, Greg Page, the three heavyweight champions. The only city that produced three Ellis, Greg Page, and Muhammad Ali. The only city that created three heavyweight champions.
Hey, so you know how when Rilla was up here and he just pulled out tourism to save Chicago? You just pulled out heavyweight champions to save Kentucky, G?
Well, no, that's one thing. We got the best. We produce 98% of the bourbon in the world in the state of Kentucky.
That's
every bat that these major league batters are using, Louisville Sluggers. That's my city, dog.
Hey, they give away at the Kentucky vendors with sweets, and if you walk past, they're gonna try to give you some. If you like it, they'll give you a bottle. I'll give you that. I don't drink though, but I've seen it firsthand. But the only thing that I've been to Kentucky for is the derbies. I can't say that there was anything else that I wanted to do while I was there. But just
let me tell you what else Kentucky is. Shout out to my motherfucking
That's why
self.
I'll never go there. Because if they produce people like you, it ain't no sense in going there.
God damn, Bo's a hater. And plus, for the record, I see you gave me a finger after JR read my super chat. That wasn't polite, man. Why?
I'm not here to be nice. My mama didn't teach me to be nice.
I know, that's why
my mama actually told me to not be nice.
I tell any man, if you want to find a good woman, go to the South, but don't ever go to Memphis.
I'm okay with it.
I ain't gonna hold you. I don't think Memphis, Tennessee.
God damn.
Why?
The same reason people in Tennessee don't think Texas should be in the South. That's all.
Well, we in the Delta, so we got to be in the South. Well, Memphis is in the Delta, so
yeah,
we got
she's still a slave down there.
None of y'all refer to South than we do. But
well, you the Southwest.
Don't do that.
I know it struck a nerve, baby. Look, I was down in Dallas, and I said, man, y'all Southwest, y'all ain't the South. Man, don't you fucking say that. He was ready to fight for that one. I'm like, God damn, it ain't that
The
serious.
only people who gonna fight faster for you telling them some shit like that are training.
I love it, man. I ain't gonna lie. I like Dallas. This is a beautiful city. The Fort Worth area, I like it.
You should move.
No, don't do that. See, my wife will hear that shit, and she'll get the bags ready.
Well, shit, you run the house anyway, so I mean, you ain't got to pack for yourself. That's a win-win.
I got to pack the whole family.
Shut up.
Yeah, that's the dub, bro. Move to Dallas. Put all the fire content right in one city.
I was surprised too. It caught me back.
What the fuck you mean you were surprised? You must have went to Houston. Oh, okay, that's
well, it was the first time that I went there. The first time that I liked it as much as I did. You know, so.
Dallas is just as fire as Houston, and it's not as gay. Like Houston is like a mini Atlanta, so it's a lot of them.
If you want me to compare Dallas to Houston, I like Houston better than Dallas.
Well, you should.
I just don't like I don't like the weather.
You should.
Don't like the weather.
Supposed to like it, but I'm talking about you saying the people who travel and go for other nefarious reasons. Dallas is just like Houston, minus all the AIDS and gay stuff.
Really?
Damn. What are you on today, man? What is going on?
Nigga, I'm not lying. What? I didn't even say nothing.
I mean, I don't know.
about to rechange your name.
Willie,
No, we
we
don't.
to
My
work on your
delivery is fine because anybody I answer to, all they
don't debate this with her. She sitting there gave me the goddamn told me
your
F you and
Kentucky
called me old and just took shots at me. You see what I'm talking about?
I stay out of grown
You see
folk
what?
business. But when I'm talking about you,
I gotta be. She could talk crazy to her elder. Okay, call it what you want to. They ain't supposed to be taking your ass out of here.
I am not nice. I am kind. And my kindness is
right.
Where I leave it. But if you want, listen, we can talk about San Antonio. I fucking hate that city. And you know,
oh my God.
You and Charles Barkley. You and Charles Barkley hate San Antonio.
That's not why I hate it. But yeah, San Antonio was the worst state. San Antonio was an asshole of Texas.
Hey, I tell you this, San Antonio got a nice river walk. They got a nice lazy. Well, they got a nice lazy river down in San Antonio.
A lazy river, warm piss. Go ahead.
Oh
my God.
If it's not Dallas, Houston, or Austin, the rest of Texas is ass. El Paso is north of Mexico. Corpus Christi is southeast Mexico. San Antonio is like where the people from Mexico they car up before they left.
So you went to go get you some pudding just to sit in the car and talk to us? What is wrong?
Let me read these chats so we can
God damn.
Get up out of here. Barnum with the 99-cent super sticker. Also, remember, thank you. Life of Cash, $10. It is illuminating and dumbfounding to see Black folks accept and cheer for a fastest police state. Did I say that word correctly?
Sure.
Thanks for you for falling in line. Ghost Town Bullies became a member. Shout out to you. Thank you for becoming a member. Wives unalive $2. Yes, it does mean you are a better person. They got $11, $10 to JR. Will be wrong if I get home and find the number and call ICE on heat. Just so member super stick. I want to say thank you. I want to thank you guys for tuning in to the show today. I appreciate you guys' support. I appreciate everybody that pulled up. And the people that stuck around. Let's make sure we support each other. Check out the IGs, YouTube channels, all that good stuff. Even have business outside of the media as well. So let's make sure we support each other today. And with that being said, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Sunday. Victory for us today, because one thing we're going to know for sure before this day is that the Bears will not lose the game today. Carry that the energy we had last Sunday into this weekend. When the next Sunday play? It ain't Thursday, is it?
No, we play next Sunday. We play the Commanders, the Washington
Commanders.
Beat
y'all ass.
Okay. Nobody gives a shit.
I bet you a Bears fan should.
Man, so we can come.
Man,
Chicago pride again.
Look, let me, JR, you know why he's saying that? Because what happened to him? Yeah, that's what that is.
Yeah. Still salty. We kicking the Jets' ass right now. Though. I think
we wasn't the Jets.
It was 40-3. No, you're right, man. They got a good quarterback. Your quarterback, like, so.
God damn, man. Here we go again. This is crazy.
It's y'all quarterback, bro. Shit.
Yeah, you know, look, I don't care. That's his business. I could give a shit as long as he get me a Super Bowl.
Yes, you would, bro, because that Super Bowl gonna have an asterisk on it.
Okay, whatever, man. You're gonna have some nail polish on somewhere.
No, it's gonna be in the deal, though, because
oh man, come on, man. Come on. This is some nasty work.
Caleb Williams
they deserve better.